Mama, what year said what Yasuka at the Argentina. A Juma was here in 100 Ghana cities, or mere 400 Ghana cities. It's all your money in Puntra, Kausaka Kun and Nimuka, Boba, and Plan. As you remember, here, ABC no money here, and your money, yet to tell school fees, a com dear, Yama, a Cosqua, a Pamon, we are now hospital, Nazar has the future, about one jar. At the Opa Baya, a damning kind in home, Cornun in home. If the comfort and take comfort, your mama won't even take comfort because on no moon, no for the suffer, na tabu for. I tell what 30 for theatre, the friend, or 2 for 1 for. I don't think we are Nanakufado. I damn it again. I would be necessary to say, men will not comfort. I'm a mom, so I'm a real musica. But your mama or Bama won't come. What you can be. You're walking now. Or if you go my no down what I'm approaching, who was a local for now or going to be Yano, was also me, and now my buying, and now send them something, and now send them again. Now, no plus I did. The same year, dear. And yet, Cabata will know, not me here. I had them in Pai Bonnet. Ghana for young shay, your mob wrong. Ghana for your rubber say, young man, you're trying to yento. Coco, for you see Anton Coco, the opinion need your mamma. Can offer the campaign. National Security for Sikaya, what dear, say the Baba Totonyama, Abra Sikaya, Ghana for Inya. You are teacher for Sikaya and Dimitria. Nurse for Abra say, Dimitria, trainee for Wokan de Campua, say, so the training college, yes, also go and nursing. Yes, Samu, Amamuano, Yadubabia, I'm a Namu Abatwa. Obia, Hannah say, or Hannah Manu, and ye Mobra. They enter trouble, Tedom Hammer. Don't know, none of me need more castle of bread. No one called, no call me. Not the Nakufad, Emra, and measure money. Nakufad, net damage can maybe I'm a one conspiracy. I'm $1 million. Yet, they are your money ye. Number Pio says I'm missing for the who will be that bornum of Konya as you be.
Special prosecutor said what in inside to say John Neja Padia so. Adam said John Amode. Special prosecutor was say what in inside to say John Neja Padia so.
About way there. For no need to Mudian Cata second kind of prayer, a senator. To say, and we have more if you go around Pampamu. A fan about you say, a big fan of Tadium, Begun Nasian, Sana Chrono, Adore, Dom Hammer, in a bite. It is on my bay a year, yet the Pamakon for Fukuma. If you say, and praying Domama, and then a member better, I could not son. Yes, it has some a bessay. They say I'm not a say, bow. Dear Domama, what year and said what Yasuka at the Argentina. A Juma was here in 100 Ghana cities, or mere 400 Ghana cities. It is all your money in Puntra, Kausaka Kun and Nimuka, Boba, and Plan 9. As you remember, here, ABC no money here, and your money, yet to tell school fees, a com dear, Yama, a Cosqua, a Pamonum, we are now hospital, Nazar had the intimatia, about one jar. At the Opa Baya, a damning kind in home, Cornun in home. If the comfort and take comfort, your mama won't even take comfort because on no moon, no for, no suffer, no tabu for. I tell what 30 for theatre, the friend, or 2 for 1 for. I don't think we are Nanakufado. I damn it again. I would be necessary to say, men, me comfort. I'm a mom, so I'm a real musica. But say, the mamma or Bama one can be. What you can be. You're walking now. Or if you come here and know down what I'm broaching, who was a law comfort now or going to be Yano. Was also me, and now my buying, and now send them to Sano, and now send me a DNA. Now, no cross riding. Say, near Tia Dia. And your Cabata will know, not me here. I had them in Pai Bonnet say, Ghana for young shay, your mob wrong. Ghana for your rubber say, ye nua man ma ye to ade aye nto koko akuafo a ye si ye nto mu koko opuni ni John Mahama sika no fa de ye campaign national security for sika ya kodie se de baba toto niema abra sika ye Ghana fo nya ye ru teacher fo sika ye ntimi ntwa nurse fo abebrese ye ntimi ntwa trainee fo ukoka na ye twa mpoa se ye se ko training college ye se ko nursing ye sramo amamuo no ye du ba bia ye fe no amaname hunu abato obi a hwe na bebrese wo hwe na mani hunu ani ye mobra ye na ye ntro bentia John Mahama no no anu na anu mi de nkomo wo ka so abre no na wonko home na Kufado emra emehwe o man yi na Kufado na dem nkekan ni ho o man be yi ama one constituency ya me $1 million ye de ayi o man yi na mbabio sesa mizremfo na mu hu omu bio ya no
Ghana Montie Ghana Montie Ghana Montie Ghana Montie Odesempa Kasia bo Kowaka Temunsa Amaya se Kasia waye Onye yimu Nukretrodo Kamadine men kamadine bo Nitafe Mumayentie Kasia waji 100.9 Kwesi Monkwe.
Be very, very careful. Because power and wealth, money and influence has expiry date. I'm telling you. I have seen people in great power with wealth, access and influence. And like the psalmist said, he said, I've seen a man like a mighty tree with many branches. And he said, I went, I came back, and I diligently sought for him, and behold, he was not. So when you are privileged than others, praise him, worship him. When you are privileged than others, take heed and be careful how you treat people, especially if you have children. If you have children, if you are people you care about and you love, be very careful how you treat the children of others. Be very careful how you handle others. Because in this life, you reap what you have sown. It's just a matter of time and it will catch up with you. And sometimes you say, what have I done? And why me? And why me? It has everything to do with how you handle the affairs and the issues of others. When you were privileged, when you had power, when you had access, and when you were in the position to do as you please with the power and the office and the position and the resources given to you. Did you use it for good or for evil? Did you use it to settle scores? Or you use it to the destruction, the hurt, and the detriment of others? Be careful. Because time changes. I've seen very powerful people in my life who were so powerful in their time and in their days that even when you call them, they won't return your call. They give you their numbers and you call them and they will never return your call because they are very important, because everybody is calling them. And I've seen them. Their time comes and it passes away so quick, like the grass withers and like the flower fades. And suddenly they begin to return your calls. And I say in myself, is it the same person returning my call who never did return my call before? Because what made him who he is and the things he derived his confidence and audacity in, it has been taken by another and is regarded like nothing and is despised and looked down upon, and all the privileges are stripped and taken away from him. Ladies and gentlemen, David was a man after God's own heart because he never forgot from whence he came. He remembered that he was a shepherd boy. He remembered that he was a nobody. He remembered that he wasn't qualified by God, qualified him. He remembered from whence he came, and he did things not just with what he said, but with what he did as time goes on. You will see, he did things to establish gratitude, to make statement of appreciation that God, I will never take for granted the things you have done for me, how far you have brought me. I will never give you anything that is cheap and it is common.
100.9 FM. Ghana Montie na mansanya so adawro kofia man homene so ejiji tonton sansan e wo neat 100.9 FM. Ensem ko atwiko bata esum se dontwe no dumaja esum Ghana Montie dwumadie so eye neat. Ghana Montie na mansanya so adawro kofia man homene so ejiji tonton sansan e wo neat 100.9 FM.
Akabesima tobacco not non-suable. Right, so just before Wonder God by Sonny Badu, I did show cry and pay or to say Archbishop Duncan Williams. Yeah, born in Ibima or Casabro Fum. Nan 7 on the top of Bomin, so was here Mire Ninkaso. And TNS, what is what? Mema, if your mom was your name, mom says, Biomi and Quasia Fobi. Nasa, what for sure, while more Obeshia, no Sanya, Obesensio Mobile. Diano, I should year Kakrawa, Braboimu. I don't pay the Mamina Crababio, Ghana Montie, I don't pay you need 100.9. Crazy Abwa Jimmy Huchame, Cabinama from so come one chair or shed the bon cratano and none pay. Senior and 70 away nim. And Koma who do a bediano pay 050-372-1744. Wajin Chirobet Media Fashion Diaba. In fear and soon ye Ghana June 3rd and a June 3 disaster. Review. Then she'll be sure she be toy and Krahanum saying. Bay and fear bay and soon a besting queen. Emma, anyone will be cozy, so a more share filling station. I will go a go filling station or say, or say, Omokosha and can show no totia, Omotimiako, and sure you sana a Troy BSC, just a leaky Emma a jato filling station as she a man for. A man for the swab bread was or how we at it at 2 years 2 years. Ghana Montie, Anope, Kabana, Boamie, the one cat on the front pages of the newspapers, SSA.
I was for the Bocata, your friend, telegraphic and I'm a day bay. Nanimu what I say. Adia Matiami went to me, Anyano. Is here the baby by our bay. Ya, would any. Matiami do tear to my home. And the Coquasa say. Kisia dabia tumi atia masama ekrampo wotene niama de mayen na a special prosecutor will work kisia daben and what na say a cognitive executive officer Forest State Commission lawyer kojo usu free years don na japade awowo Ghana ha amanone ni sika egu bank ya tini nyina ya freeze ya friend no ya bisa no kwan a wofa aso a wonya sai japade yi na se wantumi anka sam papa bi antra ya ne a ene enioma ni nyina ya besa afa ya de esan se ekwan a wofa aso a wonya ye no ebia na nya kwan pa so aya kwan pa so nso a ne ya de na de ama no na wode kɔ enti wode ne ho asam ate aba ni mu ha wowura ma ate amedu ade a wantumi aye no wowura kisie jabe waya ama na boro so
so ni akwabna kan enra and kratay by from the office of the special prosecutor see commencement of investigations of the estate of Kojo Owusu Efriye. The office of the special prosecutor OSP has commenced full investigations into suspected corruption and corruption-related offences in respect of alleged improper and unlawful acquisition of state lands at the Achimota Forest Enclave and Ramsar catchment at Sakumono in Accra by the former Chief Executive of Forestry Commission, Kojo Owusu Efriye, alias Sir John, now deceased, and other persons. The Ministry for Lands and Natural Resources is directed to fully cooperate with the OSP in the investigations. Signed, Kisi Ajiben, Special Prosecutor. Me too.
Abusia dia akwasi kan ni yetiawa na dia wade aba no watrasa special prosecutor na wakeka ne ho yi na wakeka ne ho a lawyer Kojo Owusu Efriye ya ne yatafra ne Sir John wakane na wono ene woye penny pa wada forest commission ano no afa special prosecutor ya witness na sa witness ya waye ne se the office no ensase nwasem na japade ho asem ya ne nyina wa ne wori ne mu no ada kwasi adame de toso aduonum ye no ena sa ne ma nyina beto oja ya tire so wa pastor of land Achimota Forest ya yasi ya reserve atu no Sakuma no Ramsia site nso wasa wo bi wo ho 4 passes of land ya eno krampo ba bi a wo no afa no wom guo mu asese na sa ne ma yi ani sikado so pu a ti sampo anu anwia eda na account mu ya wa Ghana ha ne de wa ma no ne special prosecutor gusua wa yan sisemu dia fa sa ne ma nyina ho wo mu san sisemu no ase eda ya wa da me da to so aduonu ensia enti munya motira mayen special prosecutor wo rekisie jaben me na me nsacha krates mo ma me bretia wa bi emu nsem nyina me de baba beda Ghana fo enti ne tiatamu ane se wonu a ebeto abonten ya lawyer Kojo Owusu Efriye eya na wono watira se wode ne nsa to ni nyina so wa frizi ni nyina enti obi antumi mfa ne nsa nka ma akokora na ekosisa ntisemu no ebeba na wiye ne yebebisa no se saa niema bebrebe no wonya na wahe se wantumi anyi ano anaso wanya sempapa bi anka ntre ye ne dia ene yedafretri ye beje saa niema ne nyina na yede ama woman no na mom so otumi ka bibi kire ye ndia ene ye fine yede na de nyina ovakasi yede be ma no na ane amamentu ade bokrata no so wode aba no wakyerɛ sɛ sɛ wo sɛ akwantempɔn no a womuye baabi wo mfimfini wano mu a yɛduadua green grass wɔ so ebi so kora wo a ne yɛduadua nia na emiamia bebree afu ɛne wobisa sɛ saa medians no ɛyɛ hwan mu asɛdeɛ so wɔ mu dɔ na ɛkwan no mu te yɛ kama enti wɔtwa bi ade aba afei wase yɛmfa mmerɛ ekuo bi ɛne wɔn tie mu sɛ automatic adjustment formula no a na utility tariffs no wɔn yi suo no ɛbɛyɛ anko wɔn nsa mfa mmra ɛbɛboa paa Dr. Akwete ɛna o propose di ama a speaker ya wɔ parliament sɛ ɛbɛtumi anko wɔn cast vote ɛwɔ speaker so na issues bi a wɔn no mu ɛsɛ so wɔn solve no wɔn atumi asolve no kama ɛsan sɛ wɔn parliament wɔn no mu a ohun sɛ eniama ensada enkoyiye papa na Ghanaian Times de bokrata no anim ha wawura bi wa ye konfo tiape konfo due ye hia muwa o na ne sa konfo yi ene wa kyerɛ sɛ na bosom no kata ne sɛ one fan a year when you're 35 years and the baba ya woman from me museumano enti ampa comfort to me say nyamianim ada na yere kwato bosom no so eternity ama moja gu bosom no so asa ada ne baba no koka ho amu wata wonu nsuti adi ya payama nanan mo abosom eno ana court kwa asetena nti wade justice kwesi ani yaboa emfoni abato na ose enemre pa baby awiase adurei na wo de wo yire no wo ba akoku na gba afode ama nanan mo abosom dabi saadi abrantie ye de wanya ni ye kura enunti yasu wonkwa life in prison wakwa kodem akosisu wabeto nanan mo wansie do abaya ni abrantie no wa yati wo mu sex video we pia bonten a yahye wo mu wono aposifo akwati nipa miensa sam enipa miensa yi wo mu na no wo mu hye abaya ni abamu ano enti yede wo mu kwa akogina mra no na mra no ni wo mu wadi na anum wo baabi na wo baabi wo wu ambulance m emra sebejafo obeya nsisemu Dr. Efuakome acting program manager non-communicable disease wada anum say no water say ta wo sha enkwada ya diabetes na ye wonu wa hospitals yakase amiensa e wo Ghana ha o mu recordu 800 enti wo mu bo amanfo akokose yade ya friend say diabetes ha enkwada pa enti abata no yama yeni enko ho na ajali ga Democrat anu anim wanso wasade Sir John mfoni abetoa ya wa suspects ye enda de Sir John wason takrate ewe Democrat anu nyina mu wono krate wonu wanie aye special prosecutor wo rakisi ajabe kisi yanya wudeni wuye buei kisi yanya wudeni wuye buei wo rakisi ajabe special prosecutor wakeka no ho wakasa katasese no proye no wobetu asie woni limit wobema na ya nyonyo wo Ghana ha ampa wade wase ayo the late Sir John ne japade anyina wade nsa to so se katasese no proye bi wom na Sir John tumi anyia no a yabeti ni nyina ate amwaman no wade abrantie Oliver Bakavama wo ehwa ya fepa o sesiw to abota kama wuta abrantie ne yakrati ni nanso atana general afare trial bi ade against no isan say first one wa womuti no a waso obeye ku no womu ma no bill afade ne nkrata nyina ya ready ya de ne kogina court akobo no kwadu sa asam no botia no dia ene na chese kwan ni nanim wana ene wakata posifo say abaya ne abamu ana womu hwe no ayi wono ya wana esono ya na sono wa na ya meken wanda wa hin papra wo wa entini ya fra no wa na no wase wano no wase yanhye wo mu enti so obi wo bibia wo mabisa wo no na saa nipa ya ti wo mu ne de but wono ankasa wono ana se wo ma ya de atia wo ma mamre ne wo mu nsese enti yanhye wo mu ene se ade wo mu bodu emu a ya twa wo mu mpire Central region ebra womo kwato aba regional executives no womo antumi antubi esanse na mansotie kakra bi da hono mu a afa wo bi de asam no kwada court ejebo ejenya ba bedru erade ya adomo a wochena Central region fo bekwa kwato aba akwakoyi regional executives ya wati womo mfoni ade aba afa Madagascar fo yese womo the Sunday ni atre Central African Republic tankofo we di omu nimbobo enti yakura ya yiri ya ho a entamu ase yenya we kura wie no na ya qualify dada ye din kan se Madagascar fo wa ha enti ye bakwa akose Central African Republic fo ewo mu krom awrade ya adom akwesi ada enti ya sepe ni yenya 6 point 6 point no na ye hure din kan ye bo mpa ye sangora fo be bodro anaso mbelusu Sadi ebeya yebetumi atum kura Manchester United abrantie popoba wo san kwanfa wo Juventus Tuan Mata ono so okọ ana Jesse Lingard ono so okọ yetim ni ye their top players ya dada ni nyina ni akwa top players ya foforo de aba na wo mu ba mbon say yes Manchester United then ye tina ye nan so no na atebokra teye nim ha papa ya frana mo akoba en wotre se Dr. Mohamed Baumia wonya futufuo papa enkani kwa kura se ba ni tim so obe contest so ope president yedi na sa contest no awo contest ye no kwa na ekoto aba ma sama mpani na nado eye adwuma papa bi aso Ghana fuani a na so ye na wo kwa akogina ne ato so aba na memmuo boni wei enu wanim guase na akwaje papa ba bi tina kura na nyade a obi abeto aba ma ho His Excellency the former president John Dramani Mahama the Boka Teachers who obeko oti aya 30th anniversary NDC amanyoko ekwakodie entuwadi nimfoni abatua Finance Minister ayo nonyamfo kan woforiata one was an space ye and was an atade afita na ni chain wa watade tunu komu no eno ana dasoda no komu tisi ade wa yakase kakra picture no wa no na funa toto Mami akosi afrema o se opare wo ye chief of staff wono so South African wear na ma send wig kama ene ne space ya wada ha Archbishop Charles Pamabaka wono so eda ha Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams papa wono so eda ha na obi na eka o watira se abayi ka National Cathedral yamfa yesika na esie nanso sa woboa 25 million Ghana cedis ena ye de asa National Cathedral mu so omunye na womu fancy na dan wa hu so womu sio so womu jesi wonu mu o Kofi Aboti Tadio sorry ena nipa bi aka ho ena womu tese Supreme Court decision bi a womu eteki ye no womu kasafa ho nti speaker seminar lectures ye course wono womu di womu anu asem ekotu dwa na the Bokata me de twasi aye the Bokata your friend is Chronicle na Chronicle nim wanum say no or the His Excellency the Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mohamed Baumia Mfoni Abatoa was a suit and what botai say na white ya the wire for pa was an space no awatase no na your conference biase no wakasa and wakatra mining firms ne say Omun liste ewo local stock exchange so na betumi aboa wo mu wa emebunu no ayase wonum no aposifo ati nipa miensa emra sebedani a wetira ma de se wo gomua west Alexander Aban en wo kasei wasesa Ghana anya kafo kakra bi a few years to come obaba parliament no na drag baron sonko a wo mu atonu bone etin bone hu danko na age parliament wa boso adaya said the politics no adane sika no ta wonnya wo bi a wotonu bone a wontumi nya saade no enti abaya kakra bi ono mpode wose yama no few years obekomra sebeje fie no na ya drag barons association of Ghana and wo mu go parliament wo phase 1 yo aye you start program no a deputy minister of finance ya Osaya mrasebedani ma desie wo ediso Dr. John Kuma esa ase no what the phase 1 no aba na wie ya wo mu ebeboa afei abrantia Lionel Messi and wo mu tese Cristiano Ronaldo 2 international titles ya waje ya no woni ni nyina aba be yepe enti enei ye ka bobo ene emu abasobode a se nipa mieni Cristiano Ronaldo Lionel Messi womu ayebipa ediama one matter ya wo free Manchester United no so wode ne ho asam edi abaha no say ya the Bokata Chronicle
Kora minim se what is Accra Metropolitan Assembly akwa akoto to amanfo bishops e wo ye nkran hanem sei nyina na se si efi pa do kro mo hwe shops nenim ni se ni efi wo mu nsiesie shops nenim wo mu prapra any yes ni akika ho anope be se edi hu komo kakra ntie kwa ma no so na ye ni kasamafo ma Accra Metropolitan Assembly the Rock Gilbert ni ankra yenko na sa asemi yenjimu enchichemu ye Gilbert ya dasi mu akwa baba ni TFM so anope
Mia bema Accra Metropolitan Assembly de so na ma yentia Montie na mayor of the city of Accra
say dwumadi amudi yan ebia yenimi ubetimi my background kakra because you say makoto to amanfo shops mu.
Thank you very much for opportunity. My mentor say, as part of efforts to ensure say, Yebema, as the share Operation Clean of Front with the regional minister, honorable and the court, Montie, and assembly, say, man, Yasha said that last week, then I can't know, maybe or not, Ekukum. This week, you also Ekukum. Now, Ekukum, most of shops now within the central business district. Especially drinks now, most of the time, at the end of Muton and Casano, they have extended almost shop onto pavement, almost all right. And when you now the good pavement, so I'm blocking the entire pavement, and
I didn't hear no more, sir.
So most of I can say, the Niamana Egu Abonte Hosana, a mouthful of a better. Now, may or no, a moment, yes, say. Then I walk the city of Accra, satellite market, the minimum time, a first pass at all. Men for Mokola, top paper, a co abusu, fair pass at all. I may pay food stuff at all, I may call Abubusi, but that is the food market. Into your mama, that's it. Then the shop, and I'm coming here, what saying I'm over the art. Of course, they will come in and then ensure, say, on what they talk. Now, basically, locking now, soft now, yellow, basically, most of them so what on frontage now. Also consistent assembly as part of the process to ensure say the betting any drains so na intini arm the fire the share as air distorted drains now most of these drains back it has been choked back with plastic and all that, and we expect to say as a shop owner, Accra Metropolitan Assembly Sanitation Bylaw 2017. Now it's quite clear.
Okay.
Offense is being said. Wow, it is your responsibility to ensure that drains are feeling care and no surroundings. No better ensure that surrounding now better. Now you go promo. A honey nine the pure Robin, the Google winning the brave. Who be some almost say, Obi Beba the fat. So people are fast up your Robana. And then I won't pay bean. Now film boom. It is a month for you who said Roberts will be bring. None in our circle who got to need you. Into when soon a mayor FIA or that said, Chossi na Omugua, Omonim Anthony na. Yen locking of the shop na honest no. Yen said Tajomo na court Anthony.
Well, so before I to ask you two things here. Near the kind, send out chim no. Obi officers are there way more yak muni to me be amoyen. There's actually a mra what I'm saying bylaws and she share mra one a mom who came amoyen yamoye me boa.
Accra Metropolitan Assembly Sanitation Bylaws 2017. It's quite clear. The assembly has the right to ensure say if you are not keeping your surroundings, especially with shops assembly, and we have the right to ensure say those shops are locked. And we can prosecute all of them for some of these sanitation offenses. And then many who can the public health department for in fact it's a sermon from the sanitation court, last sanitation court. Now and then all those shop owners now they were affected, they will be saved. Now next week, they appear before court to respond to at the Crontia or Moama. Now, let me briefly.
Okay.
Prosecution, is very, very important. Because if we don't ensure that we enforce the law, people will take us for granted. From the third quarter of this year, Assembly has so far prosecuted over 115 sanitation offenders. Now, most of them, will be American and saying can show you a thief be within the Gamashi area. Somebody be actually now, or the Ebola, they are part of they have been
Now, the other thing I'm saying, Busan said, now can be said, Adentina, woman prapra, na woman fangu being winning your cacaho. Mimbusa said, Moanso as the Metropolitan Assembly, Mojiji to edify J4 honing your cahoing. More provided beans for them, I be almost one prapra when you be no betting the Gumana.
Thank you very much. We share the central business district. And she shared a warhol with respect to sanitation and then collection itself, waste management, assembly, at the areas, some specific waste management companies. Aside in so long, there were informal sectors now, or more to do the collection. But in the law, it's quite clear. We share sanitation bylaw no more. Quite clear there. Wow, we get ball. It is your responsibility to ensure that you have a standard container or the ball. It is your responsibility to ensure that get all those things. Generally, we appreciate the fact that within the city center, the assembly is supposed to provide something. And over the years, there have been efforts to put up all these things in the central business district. But you said we can provide beans for every shop within the city center. Of course not, we cannot. You see, they are expected to ensure that they don't have to come and dump it in front. There, it is their responsibility to get a standard container for the ball and of course, we share within the community your central container system. The central container systems today, and they're within for residential low income areas. I also waste management companies, informal sector workers, now. They all form part of that particular way, but it is your responsibility.
Okay.
The polluter pay system, wow, it is your responsibility to ensure that you pay for the waste.
Okay. Mimbusa, does the law, bylaws, Emma who can say Montu shops because Pachechimu, Mudiomo Babe court, Udinipane court, what's Anthony shop? I'm sure you also denying him or her the daily bread and Diane. Random who can say Montu shops and the Matu shops in time Ben and be is it after Mudioma court saying Chichimu?
Assembly or more especially they are in shops as we must ensure that all those people are dealt with. Now, that assembly has the right. Of course, we have the right to ensure that all these shops are full. Now, shops, that very day, and I order said the shops closed. As I speak to you now, they have been served with sermons. And notice they say, I mean, we can shop, the beer shops, immediately, I may have work grounds, and our mass are order, As so far as sermons, I said, yes, there's almost sermons in the area, they are expected to appear before the court, the shops have been open for them.
Okay. We see as you train been saying, likely, Omoebia, Womobedi Fono, Wamokota, as you share the mom saying.
Most of the time, with these sanitation offenders now, it's quite clear. Either say you are being fined because we don't have these non-custodial sentences in our way. You are either fined. If you are not able to pay the fine now, then the alternative is to serve prison sentence.
And so far, Mia Moko no Becca saying, among 40 say saying people responding and people cleaning what surroundings, the gutters, the frontages need Senate.
Of course, people are responding quite positive. And now I mean some exercise to move to these some specific senior high schools within the metropolis to at least let Palano and they need keep their surroundings clean and all that. Please, get back home. A man for say no. You may be our more than yet. Pictures are Assembly, are published here. People were quickly moving in to ensure that almost sound in city now. They started sweeping. And now I can say you don't have to wait for the assembly to come in before you start doing some of these things. You live within an environment and say, ensure say surroundings, especially living within the central business district. And very, 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 very clear. Now, and no one have contributed bola pure around the state can be brain. And what's my catch on say over area bit is there. Central police station or more area more far. What we have done there is to ensure that pavement they have provided beans for themselves in front of them. Traders now have provided beans for themselves. Now we are saying that continuously, they should ensure that so big no craft or they should be able to compel that particular person to put that refuge in the bin. We can say people are responding positively. And let me use this opportunity so now me fan that was for Juma to ensure that among for me take our responsibility keep their surroundings together. No, if we all play our role, no, I can assure you that we'll have a city and a crowd where we can all live in love.
That's it. And so this exercise, Bekoswa Meboa.
Koswa, now, my main can say, as part of Commonwealth celebration, we must ensure that the city is quite clean.
Before Bekono, and June 3, 7 years ago, Ghana disaster, at Yirenchema at 2 years, meaning, sir, as the assembly be a Bibu Horma Mobile, just to mark the occasion. I had a Bekakai Wana.
Thank you very much. For us as an assembly, that particular incident is quite unfortunate. Over the years, the measures have been put to ensure that issues of flooding and all that are dealt with within the city center. Of course, the ban of an official event now. You see, that particular area now, incidents, in within the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, the current jurisdiction. Which is to say, jurisdiction now, we are looking at Okakwe South, we are looking at Ashedu Keteke, and Ablekuma South. Particular area now, incident, it falls within the Kuala Municipal Assembly. There is that collaboration to ensure that at least there will be some activity to mark the day to also educate the people the need to keep their surroundings clean to ensure that the children and the fighting to have such an incident again.
Okay, that's a pa.
Thank you very much.
Gilbert ni Ankara, Kasama Accra Metropolitan Assembly, and pay need 100.9 Ghana Montie so and was your go ye so yakegum yanope jumedi Ghana Montie kwesiabo ajimtie dwem kabana phone so working kind of bon krata no adwinche akwenye hobet media faso now dia ba 0503721744 0503721744
Ghana Montie na mansanya so adawroko fiaman homene so ejiji tonton sansan ewo neat 100.9 FM.
Yeah, good day, Bakrata, and anyone seven so, and I'm Chakabna, so a quiet interview. Kabna, to us, mammy.
Ayo. Abusia for the Bakrata, me de to us so I tell you satellite. Na wabo, wononyam for Albert Kandapa, National Security Minister Basso say, wow, Kandapa na wokuta great vision, papa. Incident, you see, wa na himfie. Ane entempa America wetu ya yati ni pedi sabon for some no atrasa papa no ya de His Excellency the Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mohammed Bawumia and one nananum ni mpanimfo bi ni adesie bi ejina no mu a wo matwa pita fefefe local authorities no and wakata wonum say wo munya innovative kakra na wo mun kambom na mpuntuo entumi mbram potem a wo mu wono. As Speaker of Parliament here, your friend Honorable Right Urban Kingsford Sumanu Babin, and Waka say, and what I say, study security for Adam Rasu Munsem, ɛpo Ghana this year no ɛyɛ ade a n'ani nte ho koraa nti wɔka kyerɛ apolisifoɔ ɛne security agencies ne sɛ sabi yama mutumi a yankasa mu mfa mpopo Ghana this year nti sɛdeɛ musi bu Ghana foɔ no wɔtɛ sɛ wɔmpɛ His Excellency the Vice President yo wasan de naba abio wakɔ commission ɛyɛ $50 million a bulk power supply point ya ɛwɔ Kasoa wakɔ akɔpa ho ntoma fɛfɛɛfɛ yɛ tumadi a ɛkɔɔ so nti wɔtwa ne ho mfoni ade aba wɔtɛ sɛ Green Ghana Day ɛda yɛbɛkɔ akɔdua nnua na sɛ nnua yi ɛyɛ nnua bi a ɛbɛma Ghana yɛ fɛfɛɛfɛ afi atwa mu no mu dua bi na sɛ nnua na yɛdua yɛ no ɛno koraa mehu sɛ ne nyinaa fifi yɛ sɛ bi wuye o ɛho akontabuo but meyɛ sure sɛ fifi enti yɛsa ba abɛdua bi aka ho enti Awurade yɛ adom a June 10th o ɛna Green Ghana deɛ ɛtɔ so mmienu no wɔn bɛsan ɛte asesɛ so na Daily Post de bɔkrataa no anim ha wɔde mmarahyɛbadwani a wɔgyina ɛde ma adehye a wɔ etimako enyan esiam ɛno wɔ mfimfini mantem sɛ wofiri nkran na wokɔ a ampa nkakra wobɛdu simpankwanta baabi a wura na baato no ɔno mekyerɛ wini ba jansen na watra kɔ apaa eduru apaa yɛ apam jansen a straight na edomem bankasim wafa wo nsa nimfa so efiri wanom de kɔ nyinaa wo nsa bɛka etumako enyan esiam ɛhɔ na kɛsɛ atofo sen wɔyɛ mmarahyɛbadwani wɔn mo kyerɛ sɛ wɔakɔnso financial loss de amu ɔman no wɔkɔtɔ ambulance baayɛ a ambulance ne nyinaa nyɛ papa enti wabɔ yɛ ka yɛde ne kɔgyina kɔɔto abɔ no kɔ adu na ne witness a wɔn wɔyi no Pastor Anso Brijan ɛna yɛso wɔyɛ prosecution star witness wɔn na di adanse ti atofo sen wɔkɔ no wɔse yɛ me media mimi ni adanse die bi a medidi atia obi a o enti wɔde ne mfoni abɛtoa afe kane ɛsoafo a no wɔhyɛ nsase ɛsoɔ onanyafo Mike Hammer sɛ bɛtɔ gya sɛ nsase a wɔ Atimota Forest ne deɛ ka ho opani ne kyerɛ sɛ wɔsrɛ Ghanafoɔ madaworoma wɔtene baabi a wɔtene ne ho oni asase bia wɔ Atimota Forest nti wɔn ɛkabaya a sikabaya a wɔgyi no ɛkabaya a wanso wɔnkyɛ wɔntua National Cathedral ɛyɛ asɔɔdan kɛse a yɛbɛsia ma Awurade na yɛsi wie pɛ yɛ problems yɛ wɔ nyinaa yɛbɛtumi de akɔ asɔɔdan mu wɔ ne akɔka kyerɛ Awurade ɛbɛhu yɛ mmɔbɔ na wɔde yɛ bɔne akyɛ yɛn na wɔasa yɛ asase ne yadeɛ enti wɔkyerɛ sɛ Samuel Okudzeto Abrakwa honorable ɛna wɔkyerɛ sɛ adeɛ yi aban kaso wɔ no ana ɛba abɛsie enti ɛba ne sɛn ɛne yɛtam wɔ man sika bum ɛde kwankwasɛ National Cathedral wabra school feeding program yɛnyɛ sika mfa ntua wɔnum ka ɛnyɛ school feeding program nko ampo napkofoɔ yɛma wɔ mu ɛkɔboaboa adwumayɛkuo ahodoa ɛkɔ 8 months nie yɛma wɔ mu sempoa yɛma wɔnum kaprɛ enti yɛba ne sɛn ɛne yɛtam sika bebrebe do so puante sɛ ɛde kɔma National Cathedral sɛ yɛde kɔ akɔsi asɔɔdan na Awurade abɛtena mu asɔfo yɛ programs yɛma yɛn ɛyɛ adeɛ bi a Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Abrakwa kyerɛ sɛ adeɛ ne deɛ ɛnyɛ ne dɛ kora enti wɔn bɛdɔ mu asukɔ na wɔse National Cathedral yɛka sɛ yɛde wɔman no sika yɛmfa nsi wɔn mu kɔ akɔpɛ donations de aba na afei ɛbaa ne sɛn MPP push no a wɔn yɛ no wɔn mu kyɛ sɛ bullion van yɛ na sika wɔm ɛbaa grounds wɔ na sika pɛɛ nie money krasi ɛna wɔn de wura stadium wɔn mu a na nyɛ sika toa na ɛde bɔkrataa mede ɛtoa soɔ ɛyɛ de bɔkrataa yɛfrɛ ne sɛ a Ghanaian Observer na Ghanaian Observer anim hɔnom sɛ asɛm no ayɛ bebree ɛyɛ World Bank yo ɛna wɔn kyerɛ sɛ Minister of Education ɛde ade wɔn kɔyɛ ne nyinaa abrɛ wɔnum ɛna wɔn de sika no ma wɔn $1.2 million na ɛkasa no sɛ nti a yɛnti niwasew ne sɛ Minister of Education yɛbisaeɛ wɔse yɛde sika no kɔ deprived community yɛde kɔ koraa afei deɛ ɔmu sɛ daabi yɛmfa nkɔɔyɛ sika no ɛsan da account mu a ɛhomeɛ na World Bank $1.2 million a yɛse yɛde kɔyɛ training no ɛho asɛm paa ɛte sɛn.
Mame nkɔ ama no so na yɛnkɔ di nkɔmmɔ anɔpɛ I'm sure sɛ mahu sɛ wabobɔ so a de bɔkrata dodo na aka ho asɛm the National Cathedral na ɛnra nsɛntwerɛfoɔ nhyi mu a ɛkɔɔ so nsɛm a wɔde to dwa honorable okugyeto a blackwa ɛwɔ ama no so mmarahyɛ bɛgyina ogyinama north ho yɛnkɔ ne yɛnkɔgye nkyerɛkyerɛm no bi mfa nka ho honorable yɛda ase mu akɔ ababa Neat FM so
yo many major so I hope so here
me ho yɛ paa na wo nso So, enra mo den sem de to Ghana for nyina anim National Cathedral ene krata pie but wadama no pay ye pese amanfo ti ase ye ensem pa ne amohu ne amoka fa ye sa National Cathedral hu ene sem pa dom kuma no
yo me da se de kan ma me chia tiefo nyana
tiefo juice
no crese andra dom kuma the NDC caucus in parliament share and for documents intercepted they told you intercepted document the honorable finance minister Ken Oforiatta former instruction to the controller and accountant general dated 31st March 2022 this year just March where just a couple of months ago, the Honorable Finance Minister were instructed the Controller and Accountant General on releasing 25 million Ghana cedis to company via a friend of Rebate Company Limited, Rebate, RIBAD. Now, sir, Kraken, it comes to us as a shock. If it's in this country, Ansana will be a best pende, will be a buying sika, or the koye bibino. Na sasika no, Yamano to me, say onkuyi, na onfankoye dear, the kwakoye. Na institutional, emma sa umeno, anasa approval no, a parliament. Now, Meneo Kasa say, the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana then approve allocation via any member of Parliament, all 275 members of Parliament, or your NDC NEO or your MPP NEO. That's a Ubisa say Cathedral project no sign and more approve it as a Parliament. And no onto me here onto menka. Ubisane say cathedral no the contribution of the taxpayer and you're saying that MP cannot answer. MP beer into me here no. If he said there has been no such approval. Therefore Bekaya National Cathedral Project will start here. President Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo or the Toja, and it's available. It's on Google, Google, is on various websites. President Akufo-Addo the Toja said, on only personal pledge, a boy or share, yes, sir, the Nyame Eyena Dom Nasa Obidi President of Ghana, Obesi National Cathedral, Amano, Ama, Chedi Amponyakopo. That is the original announcement. President Akufo-Addo said, or mobilize the Christian community. Asofo Akuko Dam and Christopher the Omunina and be contributed. And it started as a private initiative. In 2018, Finance Minister, Oba Parliament, the kind of 2018 budget. And for the first time, Oka said, oh, on mobile pese buying a better contribution, a seed capital, what they call seed capital. Into Wuka in paragraph 152 of the 2018 budget. That was the first time a buying a car said, oh, despite the fact that this is a private pledge, the president's priority of priority, as the president said publicly. On the buying the state of Ghana should help with land and a seed capital. It was by way of information to Parliament. That 2018 budget, seed capital, there was no allocation. Into what kind the whole 2018 budget, there is no allocation item here. I mean, as I said, budget is simply for revenue and expenditure. The car who expected to be raised at 200 loans, grants. You put all of that together, revenue and now expenditure. The can now watch and then the budget simply put, that is what the budget is about. And that is what we approve as parliamentarians. And the Constitution of Ghana is very clear. Say, Ubia and to me and spend the Ghana Sika. Parliament, Yama will approve. No matter who you are, we are president, we are speaker of parliament, we are MP, we are DC, or vice president, no matter who you are in the public financial architecture of our country, answer now, spending, we hear parliamentary approval. So far as we are concerned, now you're trying for the day buying by Parliament. I can say, 2018, you can say, you be some seed capital. No, as I said, into seed capital. This is the amount, and you be here. Into now you're trying unknown to us. Then buying spending Yasika Dada unknown to us without parliamentary approval. Into up to now 50 and draw. Yade documents where where you intercepted the two journal. Buy and to me and provide any paragraph in the Constitution and any appendix, any line item which justifies this expenditure. Now, okay, this 31st March 2022 comment carefully. You see, sir, 25 million, a year additional. Finance Minister said, additional seed capital. Okay, second paragraph now. It's just 25 million cedis, and yeah, it is just part of the illegal releases are also illegal because it is not approved by Parliament. Until the other question to ask, and it says, the procurement laws, why are we not complying? Why is government not complying with the procurement laws of Ghana?
And Dom Kumano more concern the reason why you be on TSS, I didn't say Bam Rashabi Muse Rabedi Limited, no international company. And the Mrano said, Bibisa and I say, Parliament in the approval, and Pachosana Mochemeboa.
Yes, OSHA Article 1815. 1815, international business transaction, as I said, about Parliament for approval. That is the second point. First point, ASA, there was no approval in the budget of Ghana. In the 2022 budget, what kind of 2022 budget? Because this release, 25 million, is dated 31st March 2022. This year, and or more releases. Okay, 2022 budget, any allocation in the budget for this expenditure item. That's the fundamental point. The second point, ASA, OSHA Article 1815 of the Constitution, who engage international companies to do projects, as I said, over Parliament for approval. That has not been done. The third point, and it says, general procurement law. So far, research behind the scenes, the procurement laws are not being followed. Obia even the procurement entity who is responsible, because a chieftaincy ministry and the list of departments at the Office of Government Machinery are buying with president are submitted to Parliament. National Cathedral and Kaho. The National Cathedral has been, as it were, arranged and now set up as a private entity. And a private entity cannot be responsible for public procurement. And the BIA is shrouded in just opacity, lack of transparency. Now, the other fundamental question I have is on my way to say, President Ankasa Ajiatum said, we are facing an economic crisis of monumental proportion. Economic crisis a be in a very, very long time. We should be inflation war. We should debt to GDP ratio in the region of 80% and more. We share your public debt. We share the obligations are buying what are to NMT. Many occasions say, Minia, NAMCO trainees, Yantia Moka, for more than 7 months. National service personnel are buying end to me and Moka. They are always owing them. School feeding caterers are buying Moka. Or more agitated, or more call strike. 97 pesos for feeding a child. Almost ridiculous, and we all agree with them. They have justified basis. A buying car or mobile increase allocation. Many occasions say, National Health Insurance are buying Yomoka 2 billion Ghana cedis. Get Fund are buying Yomoka. District Assembly Common Fund are MPs. Yeah, we are part of that arrangement for the MPs Common Fund. It's in arrears over 2 quarters. And if you have this precarious economic situation, how is this a priority? Look, who follow international news? Many countries have put on ice or more holding on with a lot of their projects. Projects that they consider, if you like, is of aesthetic value. That's a prestige project because they must focus on the here and some of why they are factor. Are surviving, how to push it, people in this crisis. That is what governments all over the world are doing. In Tiabanesaina, Ghana, in the face of all of this economic crunch, Nipa when you na yen to meet Tiomuka, kase, you can't any hono. Ebanesaina, dear, to me, hundreds of millions, and I'm choosing my words carefully because 25 million na yedia to jono. And it is just and draw na you release one document. If we are way and I release additional documents, and Ghanaians will be more outraged. Yes, serializing documents. And at the end of the day, Ghana for who said hundreds of millions of Ghana cedis have been spent in this economic crunch time on this project.
But minim say bia honorable Sawote ya Nancy Amampenyi say abrochman mu US copy on say ka say sa dwumedie we is a priority of priorities and any day more just some few seconds just tie ni Amampenyi e kan then I'm sure you understand why ebia or yes ade anaban yes ade we
is also the motivation for one of the major projects which I have described as a priority of priorities that we're undertaking in the country. This is the construction of the National Cathedral of Ghana, which first brought us to this venue 3 years ago in February 2019. The National Cathedral addresses a missing link in our nation's architecture by providing a formal space for the religious activities of the state. Designed by the iconic global Ghanaian architect, David Ajay, who designed the National Museum of African American History and Culture here in Washington, D.C. The National Cathedral provides an interdenominational space for worship and will serve to insert God at the center of our nation-building efforts.
So, Mampini says a priority of priorities. She said, "We papa, National Cathedral no, we here beboa, my benya baby, I besum as a Christopher in your account. Unyin to Musa, and you're saying, sir, you are which baby I do know, and says here this National Cathedral."
Minia, Christopher, your core, sorry, your kind Bible. What kind? Matthew chapter 25. Jesus Christ, like I said, on the judgment day, no. Yeah, not yes, say, you share the support, the least amongst us, the vulnerable. Until we are Christian, say, who bet to me a boy, or more near Diane, or more name is you, or more near entire ambition. That's the 1 year on the judgment day. You can't make it to heaven.
Was it Matthew 25 there?
Matthew chapter 25. Okay, Matthew chapter 25 from verse 34. Jesus Christ has said, on the judgment day, he will tell us, I was naked and you refused to clothe me. I was in prison, you refused to visit me. I was sick, you refused to take care of me. I was hungry, you refused to feed me. I was thirsty, you refused to give me water to drink. And they'll ask, oh, but we didn't meet you. And the good Lord will tell them, just as you didn't do it for the vulnerable, the least amongst you, you didn't do it for me. And so you cannot make it to heaven. He's a compassionate God. He expects us to say, we are buying. I said there are all of these hungry people who cannot, you haven't paid them, they cannot make a living. To me because you are not paying them. Arrears are compiling. Maybe look, landlords have thrown them out. Some of the text messages, the last time in my constituency, when I saw the state of some of these workers, I donated my salary to them because I just could not even sleep. As Christian leaders, as I say, you follow scripture. We serve a compassionate God. God will not be pleased. In any case, who can 1 Corinthians 6:19 Amelia? Nyamiaka said, he resides in our body. Our bodies are the temple of God. We should keep it holy. He doesn't take glory in giant buildings and giant structures. It's our action, our good morals, the high standard. That is what God is looking for. Into this business of priority of priorities, we are president. Just religiously, we are president. As president, you are superintending over our national resources. Inia, who say this project is your priority of project? Make 2022 budget. Usha page 264 of the 2022 budget. President and Casa Budget and Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta Dipa Parliament, Obekine or Parliament, on behalf of the President on 17 November 2021. Abaya Casa are listed on priority projects for all. Appendix 6, Cost of Government Flagship Program 2022. Meaning, what kind listening in Cathedral Project way anyhow? Or say Maslow into 50 million, NAPCO 520 million, National Identification Authority 200 million, Zongo Development Fund 54 million 200,000, Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program SDI Secretariat and Development Authority 1.2 billion. While listing the priority projects, Free Senior High School 2.29 billion. LEAP, Livelihood Employment Against Poverty, 197,535,000. what kind of list when you na page 264 is budget way is online. Therefore, better to me, I download it our Ministry of Finance website, page 264. More kind there is no national cathedral. Into public financial management, and you say you can't just do whatever you want to. As I said, Parliament amount approval. Into what's the way priority or priority? Who listed or flagship program or priority projects? Now, as I say, account. Now, what cost it? Into what were you hiding? What are you hiding from the Ghanaian people? You say yes, see cathedral. We cannot build a cathedral on a foundation of deception, foundation of lawlessness, foundation of falsehood. Minia. And yes, sir, you see, we are Yakoba, Nasa Yakobom Paya, Empire Bono, and Kobibia, 77, and Drew Chebimpo. Ama Aquaco do heaven. Inti, the president must do what is right. Intiana, you file 3 urgent questions. As I said, finance minister, Oba Parliament, they are summoning him to come and respond. Ebanesena, there is no mention of the National Cathedral in the budget. No approval has been given. And yet, he is spending our resources in flagrant violation of the Constitution, in blatant disregard of the procurement laws of our country. He must come and answer for it.
I see. Now I'm just reading this one here. John Kuma, where Deputy Finance Minister, will say minority is crying wolf where there's none. John Kuma on release of seed money for national cathedral project. Now, okay, kind stories na portions be on, and I quote or say, you the minority, you just misinterpreting and putting spin on the minority. You're putting spin on whatever that is going on. Say the release of the money. This 25 million contribution, Ghana cedis, 25 million Ghana cedis contribution is also payment to the priority project of government. And they, minority, don't determine what is priority for President Akufo-Addo and his government. End of quote. Said, and you know what buying? Idea say yeah, buying the priority project. And an priority project. Inti I say we no move to foot I say move man for cry move yet the crowd wa hondo.
When you know, just grammar, no logic. A minority entire said, yeah, but you say for more abiding what your priority projects should be. No problem. More choose more priority projects. And more choose more priority projects are listed in the budget. The 264. Other than a national cathedral and feature. You are even contradicting yourself. Time and now more budget upper parliament for approval. No more name said national cathedral a more priority project. More best state in the I mean more to me state all kinds of dubious things. Ubekaya 242 million beer or more year allocation for so-called e-levy revenue assurance. Dubious allocation. Yeah, expose it or more. And eventually they had to take it out for Montie and defend it. All those dubious allocations, they could have spent that time putting the National Cathedral if really they didn't have anything to hide.
I didn't know describe as dubious. No?
Dubious allocation was the 242 million. Ubekaya.
No, I'm saying I didn't know describe as dubious. No?
Because it was just a slash fund, a create, loot, and share. For Montie and defend it, they were hoping that we won't see it. And we found them out. And then, as you know, they have had to expunge it into Omuyi every the budget document for 2022, and that is a fact. They cannot deny that. They know what happened in Parliament on that matter.
I see. Now, also minority ma file then 3 urgent questions. Chichimu, ya enti ase no na chese no dia ba mpa na edom kuma no maye no.
Yeah, you filed 3 urgent questions. Those urgent questions, the first one about the releases so far. We have paid the total amount of releases are buying way a year on this National Cathedral project. Because 25 million, we know, is just a part payment. kind memo you see that is that additional funding. And the additional documents that you're able to and we are way by 2 o'clock. Mubehu said there has even been more funding of the National Cathedral from taxpayer resources, even though President Eka said on percent or better than the taxpayer. I mean, total deception. The second question about the procurement processes, because we are clear in our mind that the procurement laws have been breached. And the third urgent question relates to Omoye consultancies, Ajayi and Associates, and then the other consultants. How much has been paid to them so far? Because some of the documents that you've been releasing, and then Ubehun said the consultants have also been feeding fat at the expense of the taxpayer, contrary to the perception created. Say, oh, the way this project where is largely from private donors and individual contributions and all of that. That is not the case. Those are the three urgent questions that you're filing. A work speaker in the office, they say, and I file here.
Okay. Into me, I should say, Fiti, a Joda Kodia, Yabenya Bibi, more Ayesa, and National Cathedral, and Komoyam, the other 2 Jamie Bois.
Well, Osha, your standing orders are the standing orders provides urgent questions should take about 10 working days for urgent questions. And I'm hoping that let's give ourselves 2 weeks maximum. Within the next 2 weeks now, we should be getting some answers. But the Abine they don't even, if they don't have anything to hide, they can even be issuing public statements because they're Jankuma kind all over the place now. On the page, the paragraph where they requested for this approval. We are not thorough. We are not. We are not reading the budget well. Or they can issue a statement because we are also engaging in the media. Nothing stops them from also answering these questions in the media, even ahead of arrival in Parliament.
Now, ye and common crano. I'm sure says still anya wachechi munina baby a ye din komo baby a sha see bedi obi tifie titire bia o Kristo ni say na adan ro asamaloku jeto ablakwa omni ni dom kumafo yi omo ye munsamfo ana ade ye si asori dan baby e be bompa ye de no omu ye just in few words de na be ma onipa akono ati no beti no ase adekonti amu ye ni amu ye
Yes. Christopher. Indeed, only Miss Kume Kasa. I was not only a Christian, I'm a Christian leader. I was vice president of the Scripture Union. And about the work of God, glorifying the Almighty. And yeah, dear, you did the agro, agro. But the Bible has admonished us there. Particularly Christopher, more ye bibia, more ye ye, more follow the laws, more respecting the moral, the ethics that you expect from a Christian. You don't say, because see a dying you can just do whatever you want, break all the laws. That will not be setting a good example. So what is the difference between a Christian and a Obia Onya Christoni or just a corrupt, immoral leader? What would be the difference? Because a corrupt, immoral, autocratic leader only any respect for laws. No? You can't call that person, a Christian. That is the understanding we want the good people of Ghana to understand. And yet, can I say, even in the history of the world, many people have hidden behind working in the name of God and have committed atrocities. Who call Uganda? I won't take you too far from here. Who call Uganda? Joseph Kony, rebel leader. He claims to be a Catholic He says he was an altar boy and all of that. He established the Lord's Resistance Army. Can you imagine? Named it after the Lord Resistance Army. Now, so Uganda, is wanted by the ICC. Indeed, his deputy has already been arrested and prosecuted at the ICC. They've killed millions of people, including children. They have sex slaves and all of that. And still, the name of his organization, the Lord's Resistance Army. And we all know that sometimes people have hidden behind Christian jargon and our religious, sentiment to commit and perpetrate crime and atrocities. And we will insist that the right thing is done for the glory of God. Yanka said, Amaya is National Cathedral, but National Cathedral now yes, Yema Nucredie. Yes, it's a government project. Just openly say it and come properly before the house and provide the amount, be transparent. Now you approve it, then you can go and spend. You do what is right, but you don't pretend one prayer will say a private personal pledge. And you are not going to burden the taxpayer.
Oh, but Honorable, at a point, we move from that personal pledge. We move from that point, but you are still there.
Yes. Yeah, one move here. We say seed capital. Seed capital. Mm-hmm. It means there's a definition for that. Too. There's a technical definition. Seed capital just say you are still not going to burden. Okay, 2018 budgets are almost say they will not burden the taxpayer. It's just a seed capital. Contribution can create. But that is not what is going on. So far, hundreds of millions of grants. Look, be forthright.
Is it unim so far contribution unim sikadodo maji?
Oh, it's in excess of hundreds of millions. I don't want to preempt revelations now and there.
Okay.
But it is clear, sir. So what is going on is just premise on deception, premise on shadiness. And blatant corruption, the way the procurement laws are not even respected and are being violated.
Okay.
Look, if there's any project in Ghana, as I say, commanding purity, sincerity, what is of good report, what is right, what will be of high moral standard. Project with. But
I'm sure, sir, Unim said they are men of God who of great, let's say, repute in the account. Are you sure, sir? Is it the case? Be a woman, or they also know, sir, near maybe saying I work on their coso, and they've just kept mute on it.
Well, I can't speak for them. But yeah, as members of parliament, as I say, because even heaven will not be pleased with us if it emerges one day, we slept on the job. And as I say, to carry out our oversight responsibilities, and it led to massive corruption, and the name of God was brought to disrepute. His project was tainted. It will not be an honorable report in the best interest of God and country.
That's the Honorable Emisha Panope.
Yo, Mr. Medas.
Honorable Samuel Okujito Black Choir, Rashabe Jini, Ujama North Town, and Central Phone Shimua, 1 year about Niamusi Omehu Krata from Ministry of Finance, company based from Ribade and Rebate Limited. Womu womu Dijumano National Theatre, National Cathedral, and Donkuman Kasa. Yes, Kwaya Abayin Faso. Senior one more year on Kaisomu, Ebeji to me, William Rashabe man, yes, sir. Went to Sana Mono, and she and no hard dream, and Chichi Monopo, the Amai age media soon, need 100.9 Ghana Montie soon. Yenya Abayin penny from so, Ebe Ministry of Finance now. Any wedding commonly Busa said, Nia Don Kumai can same pan at here, one so much drink share or one pay back what drink share and come on so far, bet media 5 WhatsApp line 050 3721744. No what you about on Simamienu.
Ghana Montie. Naman sanya so adawroko fiaman homene so ejiji tonton sansan e wo neat 100.9 FM.
is also the motivation for one of the major projects, which I have described as a priority of priorities, that we're undertaking in the country. This is the construction of the National Cathedral of Ghana, which first brought us to this venue 3 years ago in February 2019. The National Cathedral addresses a missing link in our nation's architecture by providing a formal space for the religious activities of the state. Designed by the iconic global Ghanaian architect, David Adjaye, who designed the National Museum of African American History and Culture here in Washington, D.C. The National Cathedral provides an interdenominational space for worship and will serve to insert God at the center of our nation-building efforts. We've integrated a Bible museum and biblical garden as part of the project. Dubbed the Bible Museum of Africa and Biblical Gardens of Africa, they extend the National Cathedral project, which will transform Ghana, over 70% of whose population are self-proclaimed Christians, into a major center of Christianity in Africa.
Mampanyina na do danko ekufado na otise o wisa brofosa no. Yanko enimwe na yantu aso de bonkrata no komo no bi eda so ewo harum se komrabo ami.
Ayo. Abusuafo de bonkrata me de bayi aye Ghanaian observer. Na ode His Excellency the Vice President Mfoni abeto ha. Ade anu a wokoye wokasoa. Ya yebetumi anya enyinam nkane ebegyina so shan ya dumso bi ama no okopa ho ntoma na wo se etitiri wa ene no koya umedie ni ye kama pa nti Vice President His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mohammed Bawumia edaha sika ya de yasa project no aya $50 million and ya de yasa kasoa box distribution plant ya eba beboa ye no sika ye de shemu eno no na aban eguso jinkofo adwenkyere titru pa ne se omu betaga civil society organizations NAPCO FBOs ene ehon kekaye aban adene Ghana mebunu ho enti wode adwuma bi ba ye friend say you start ye sika ya ye de bebu omu achidom na etumi aboa wo mu na wo magina wo mu na so aye adwuma first one no wade abawie ye enti second one no and wo mu sase afei agric minister Dr. Ousefri Yakoto na wo ka kire Zumlion say abai baboa no tade abaya fertilizer no obetumi anya bebre ade ama Ghana fo World Bank fo na wo mu kire say Dr. Osaya wadutum ne ho afi aya $1.2 million ya no mu so mu di training no afede wo mu aba bepepa papa no ho fefefe ya ne ho son te sa abrobe wonya mfumso bia awasa sikasam no mu Ora Stephen Asamoah Boateng Olante ne campaign wie ya pe en wodi ne nitras amankase okwa akwatia kede atimu oda atimu atiase atim so drofo ase ayere bi enti wogusu ankakra nkra ne mpodie empraya so obekọ afram prince no of obekọ obesa kwa betifi no wakonkoko ansan watoa so akwa santimantem kropon kumase na watrese national tema no de party ni hia wo bi a oya action man ansan watumi abreki 8 no na when ne betumi abreki 8 no anya wo bia se ononyamfo Stephen Asamoah Boateng ya yetafre no asabi onu no obetumi aya sa adwuma no enti wo sre delegate ni se wo muntu abanfama no steady abaya obetumi ebreki 8 ade party no akonkunimdiem na wase eye agenda 6040 eno na odeba na diamede tuaso aye awrade ya adumu a Africa qualify no aye kwa akobo no and what the prayers no omumfoni aba the coach no waya ade pa na no o introduce abrantie Antonio Samenyo Osman Bukari Daniel Kofitre Peresa Frejan Abdul Fattah Isaaku ɛna abrantie Andrew Dede Ayew ɛta sa wusa ne tatis ya wɔbɔ no a Ghana yebetumi akwanimu paa enti kwasi ada ya ne Central African Republic wɔmu nimbo ya ka maya wɔmu nimbo a wɔmu nka ho enti yɛbɛhyɛ wɔmu the informer Democrat yenimu ha and what they Alex Sagbafia mfoni abetua na oye bampo ado no symphony da ha register general Jemima Oware ono so ewa ha and what say story identity o desperation ama Alex Sagbafia and in the group assembly a wo mu de betu dwa no wo mu nya no wrong IGP asasa obre no ho ase Emma British High Commissioner esan say British for the yentumi mfa wonum nni agro womu yenkofo bi a womu aboa Ghana pa nti wo kasa kire omu a no ahwe wo kasa yie untumi nkasa nkire omu te se de wo pe bia because wo ye IGP alambo isio ene yasu omu brand Dr. Mohammed Baumia se oye area nti wo de Dr. Richard Amuakuba ne mfoni abeto anum sei confusion awroke ewo team for demonstration no omu pese omu ye no ekwan omu pese omu faso ye no de enya kura na the finder the Democrat anu anim ha and what they brand John Kuma mfoni abetoa you start asam no ameka ye no phase 1 omu dia bawie ye His Excellency the Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mohammed Baumia midafo project ni a complete na $190 million grant ya a council PDS contract no enubi and ya de yes adien kakran afa inefficiency inadequate government support o ema utility tariffs no ne buwa kwa na ekosoro civil society organizations in the day today abanjuma kapa wo mu de eka wo mu di ECG any utility companies ya wo mu ntua sempo anka prempo enya asem ketua wo mu ka ho bi ena da bia ya payasi ensum ka no emfanku Ghana fo so wo mu de kapa kade wo mu dibi na the new weekend crusading guide anim ha abrantie ya frano Razak Ojopoku ena yeso ye convener ema CVM movement ya okata Dr. Amuakuba se wono pa senye nyame ne yanka en wogina nanim pa na nkone ne kasa asem ya enkasa de obeka bi atere no no obehu say yes afi court no wa committee wowura bi a wotrete Supreme Court judge no ono ankwasa kwaje to mu se odifo enti wenam se odifo nti ade asotie ne de bema no special prosecutor chese womema se John ho asese no pa se John lawyer kojo usu afiri woma ne sama akora na etre se de wasi enya japade na kakra yei eba bebisa se John se ekwa ba na wofa aso a onya se japade bebrebe within shortest possible time into omre na omeyi no ho ano sa sika bebrebe ne japade eye na se John onya
I see na sa asemi a wo kan ena kwabna ye kwa oma no so na yakwa kodibi e de aka ho Ghana Integrity Initiative for eba no se corruption ho dewuru ne edwedi paade ne omo boa pa enti ye ni ora Mary Ada we programs manager ma ye GII ye ne ni nkomo Mary Ada simu akwa baba ni TFM so anpe So Anamoa's Office of Special Prosecutor A2 say womo freeze assets of Orakwejo Osu free when you baby can you opinion or that Forestry Commission said John saying enatimo muhunu yes we anama papa another be we there special prosecutor wanyade
Acho anamo to there no kwanswa no e wo so ye no wo ye emra na ema no kwanswa onye djuma no e chese se bibi ento yi or Shishemwa, a quanda or say a property bill and any pan way Japadia, ordinance Sato, court Maho Quine say, a Jumano Ojiru, the Odirian Nasa Nipano no Soa, that no mano, on free. But then say, you who say, a choir of far so did me no mano, and yana quamwa, and also no, actually say, special prosecutor, apart from freezing order, no, or some support, and who can say, you bear confiscation. I just say, yeah, and no mano, and dear man or mine, and it is two ways. Say, say, when it no man and war, more beyond Father and Son. And since the year, my dear, you show me a Riena, which me to add, and your answer, and you be abandoned in some bed and that also, not obey Ghana or mine.
Now come about say bia ne kwan so ano no minim wo mo krata special prosecutor krata no or the buy no o kenkan bia wo nhye de hu emraportin bia ogina so de tu sa na mo no but wo gidie ni say yes emrama no ho kwan so betuma bibisa wo
Section 2 no or freezing and confiscation mandate. And Ocean a mandate, as I say, he has a mandate to investigate and prosecute corruption and corruption-related offenses. That's just a normal effect and I near a catastrophe. And it's like if or Shamuno will say, a normal LCC, and so a send Nipano, send you senior, kind of fire. Senior OC ending the human ordinary and Koya or Hokine, the ultimate Emra and your special prosecutor act and then man is that 2 minutes on this.
Na krata beto dwe na with freezy assets in the bank account in the account ho ma ebinumu adwenkyerɛ ne sɛ oh deɛ bɛn na anu yɛte ɔman mu hanom si ha ne yɛte sɛ ora ABAJ enka ne opinion order public procurement authority ano na eno nso sɛ corruption related matter bi ne yɛka ho ma akyire kra na yɛbɛte sɛ okay ne bank account yɛde nsa ato so enso ekowie akyire opani yɛsi wetimi ayi sika no ne yɛka ho enti mayanji special prosecutor ndi we enkosi hwe
so ABAJ the na and maybe the two one not get and instead of na make the baby say other institutions of state we are monitoring on a daily basis that will make me to an amount because a previous special prosecutor and offered order not to freeze the assets. But at a point, not necessarily and I came it was incumbent on other state agencies when the gap was created, not be anyone special prosecutor. There was some court now just freezing order no view. And I won't maintain it, but it didn't happen like that. The man went to court, and I am court, no more man, chance, and lifted freezing order. And some institutions of state, and do baby, I was so what to me, Ghana for whom any can say, and sometimes I can say, Ghana, in this case, we know for sure, say, special prosecutor or investigation, and most definitely say, if I know, or cancel of the collective freezing order, now most definitely this man is there, and he will follow it up. And the every time they have been times in the past, even Yoko, Oma freezing assets, almost to me, ending with human confiscated assets, almost to me maintaining a almost. And the one say yes, and in this case, it is a special case because we are dealing with the estate. And I need back a companies some that are able and it is incumbent on those people to make sure that and some now two also know either they disabuse And now I say, what to me, then most definitely the frozen assets will then be taken by the state. And the energy can come in the pressure. A special prosecutor operates at their own post. Or the tenure issues, no, and mamu. Extra only one to Nipa obedience service are not out within the state. Whilst we are watching.
So GIA moka me fancy kwa mo petition special prosecutor me wa.
The corruption watch. A composition of some NGOs are sensitization and awareness raising. There was CDD, Integrity Initiative, GSCC, and African Center for International Law and Accountability. And then some media organizations as well, Joy and Adam.
Inti munyina na mukabo na mdekrata ko ese nhwehwemu bi se nkoso meboa.
Mpacho ne ya de ko ye na ye nyina so ya tretse mu ye ne no ma ye ntia forest ye ton na ya ton wan na ton ye enna to be na nipa ni dina so no de ton ye no ma bi so wa secretary se any project ka account bi nipa fofobia wondi wo so na amantie ne trese ono se jo ne dia na so oni wa sanskrit nkwa ne ma ho ne ade those behaviors your issues around beneficial ownership ye come was them ye pursue and then that issues around conflict of interest how would the ejumaku enim na e was say wo hwe say o man no the interest ebe supersede wo die no we are also sa and this the answer one so oye the what you him the say ni ya di ebie die no ko ya ye ni ma ye so sa
Na ni ayatie ni bi ni trese Mary asemu ikra no estate ebia omo a ejapade ikra no yesi sese kodi omusem no wo court wo mo so mo twe wo court ni ne kaka ho minim se mate sa asemu ya ende bi se nti ama anamo ikra ya special prosecutor tu I say contempt of contemptuous ni ne ka ho minim se mate sa asemu ya
oh there's no contempt assembly there wo court and the fact is that remains and they say normally people are say between 2017 and about 2019 a public officer so called people should say onye aban eduma emma oman entum bono or the officer here the matter no so obeye no huye na waye na ebusia foye now or through whatever means he did that. And this is an investigation to substantiate some facts. And so every cry at the end of the day, they are fighting over who got what and who didn't get what. That is the point. But the issue and the contention here is and at the end of the day, the investigation because special prosecutor the basse some more can was me it becomes smooth.
Na yamu so ya adwen nyina ne se na sase John okura wewu nti we no hwan ne ne kwa akotwe ene ne ya yense da nti ase no Mary de na be kan de aboaye
akwesi wewu yeah, come on, something, piano. And no manner. Yeah, you know who's Senya. Oh, yeah. And the case we are talking about, anybody view acquired assets, unexplained acquired assets by our perspective. If you say within 3 years, people ought to be sit by a dosa. Forest near the now wenya and the amuna here can watch them and yeah nipa we will and again no the other or nipa be ɛwɔ will ne mu ɛna companies bi nti saa nkurɔfoɔ no ɛsodie ɛda wɔn so sɛ no wɔbɛkyerɛkyerɛ relationship a na wɔne nipa no wɔ sɛnea ɛbaeɛ a nipa no ɛne ɔmo relationship a ɔwele nneɛma ɛde ma ɔmo anasɛ wɔtɔn nneɛma ɛbɔ mu. And that is where the issue is. We are not talking anymore about but the fact remains that companies me and so almost Registrar General bet me information. Now all the she said one frontier. Montie. Because investigation na edendia everyone gonna phone na my fire so okay then he say and buy e bi ana etroma no kwase John said e bi so ana bi ani na ono otensi and odin krofo bi tari ni mo ye
okay, but Chechemu kakra bi man because I'm say metie wi a wo kan bibi say wo mo a ebia yabo mu din no asudie da wo so sa na wo kan.
Oh yes, they would have to. Of course, yabo din say woni no e wo sibi wo. And you say o den ka say no kwetmenene ne toy. And you say woni ne to as no ajuma forest. And I saw back then, Nipa or approve mammo. Maybe I'm going to register a walk any idea. So would put it. And who yet? And see, I bet me a desire. And they say, Nipa is not the passing. And it's only one young woman, 10 months. And you also to be interested.
Well, yeah, me sure say Fikra na ashasie. You hear say nebeko and me sure say mo ni su be di echipa.
Oh you need the echipa yan ka keke ngun flamam. E ya di autocrat aso say. Ni edro no Ghana mine won say you to be e ma ye ni dan ona e no ma na ye no. Ye document e ye di echi. E ye di echi dey nim say mo so mo beboa. E ye di echi because keta se no project regime na ewo man mu no ensheda nkoyi na me ka koso ka ye access regime declaration regime no so e ka ma ensemu say to me sia you want say initial information say you na when you baby ko kra say one declare it you want emrame chepe say ansan wo ba ko ja ko yana naso no e wonder what me magana mai ehu ejapatia owo e ka wo die ni na wo trogu kata mu pepe na wo di akwama auditor general na wo region wo di ko regional office na wo national wo di ko headquarters na ya di e di ato wo the assemble the first akrata na ye bi mu ahwe okay you kwesi abuaji oso wadan ba ko ka miedu ebi a on the bank be 1 million and those are issues that things that you can use to verify things easily the papa will declare the asset the constitution and I'm running so 550 a year can want them and naturally say office now occupy no the appointing authority and in this case, so so when I declare the office it was illegal. It was constitution says for declare access, you deposit before you assume office. Or when the constitution is enforced, 3 months to the time the constitution is enforced, you cannot go and occupy the office without declaring your assets and liability.
Mary, you that's your opinion. Sure, ne wadaji. That's it. Mary, Ada, Programs Manager, Ghana Integrity Initiative. Various civil society organizations on Macabo from Corruption Watch. Now, one more day, Krata, the Office of the Special Prosecutor said, Hey, Sir John, the Japadi, woman you show me near Kaka, and Yakwa could do baby a yedia. Office of the Special Prosecutor, the Krataba said, yes, ordinance to the Japadi, so a yesika war, a manone, and Sasia Wato, ne cars, the Sesenia Japadi, Nina, what an insato so. Sir John, Casse.
A bang way dear. Chrononi Drimudian Catasa can proyano, a senatadia. To say, and we have more if you go around Pampamu. A fan about you semu. A big fan at Tadium, Begun Nasian. Sana Chrono, Adore, Dom Hammer, in a bay. It is all made by a year. Did the Pamacron for Fukuma. If you say, and praying Dom Hammer, and then a member better, I could not son. Yes, it got some a bessay. So say I'm no say, a bow. Dear Dom Hammer, what ye and said, what you are so quiet at the Atintra. A Juma was here in 100 Ghana cities, or mere 400 Ghana cities. It is all your main puntua. Kausaka Kura Nimuka, Brobe, and Plan 9. As you have yet here, ABC no money yet here. And you have money, yet do your school fees, a com DA. Yama, Eco Square, Apamonum, we are now hospital, Nazahati, Intimitria, Abas won't ya. Etiopa Baya, a damning kind in home, Cronun in home. If they're conform to the conform. Don mama won't make a crown for because or no moon, na for, Nensa for, na tabua for. At the water for Chessa di Bofre, or to for, one no for. Anuti, Uya, Nanakufado. Ah, damning a can no. I would be necessary to Bussa, men, Mina crown for. Namema, a memum so and Maria Musica. But say, Don mama or Bama one can be. Or to me can be. The all can know. If you come here, no doubt what I'm broaching. Who was that local for now? Or going to be Yano? Was also me, and now my buying, and now I'm Bisano, and now I'm Yadiani. Now, no cross riding. Say, near dear, and your Cabata will know. Not me here. I had them in Pie Bonnet say, Ghana for young shay, your mobro, Ghana for your rubber say, yen your man, your twin dear yento. Koko kwa for you see Antom Koko, if the opinion need Dom Hammer, Sika no for the campaign. National Security Force, Sika Yakodje, say the Baba Totoniama, Abra Sika Ghana for Inya. You ready to for Sika Intimitria, Nurse for Ababre say, Intimitria, training for Ukokan de Champoa, say and so training college, yes also Coco nursing, Yasramo, Amamuano, Yadu Babia, Yafano, Amanamunu Abatwa. Obi a hwe na bebre se wo hwe na mani hunu ani ye mobra yaye na ye ntro bentia Dom Hammer no no anu na anu mi nidi nkomo wo ka so abre no na won ko home na Nakufado emra emehwe o mani ye na Nakufado na dem nkekan no wo man be yi ama one constituency ya me $1 million ne de aye o mani ye na mabio sesa mizemfo anamu hu omu bio ya wonum
ensema ko twiko bata esum se don twa no dumaja esum Ghana Montie adwumadie so eye neat
wanyame sum bonu nakaya for dia
Ghana Montie Ghana Montie na mansanya so adawoko fiaman homene so
wanyame sumboni na beya okrofo wanyame sumboni na beya udini yes ya senya sipa na mfreja mamboy yes ya senya sipa na dane kronu boy
adawoko fiaman homene so ejiji tonton sansan ewo neat 100.9 FM
Asemia na meswa anu de mo kan mo boa asemia de na de ketoa ubetumi asoa
Sa.
O Cristo ni frasa da baba na pa sufie. Be ni na ye ni. Ba je so so ya se. Akra ni kunu se. O pa sore. Mo ko se ni mpana de. Aja ma bon so fato Cristo ni. Ni ye ya ti. Sisi ana se so ni ya. Wantumi akwa didi daa no efiada no court nti o Kristo ni wan fa sore oni ye ya babu try say mumu di oja bone da no onto bo mo ba no mumu wa no ya bone da oni atu ya bu asa na de nyame pem ya yo ni ye nyai Asemi akakrakai ena dia tu komo ya wakon ko jare kitai usu kuma mutu sabiele asemi na baswa eni omudi akro we ni na yonyunu so ba ya chiso ya se na Yesu asemi asepa da bebe akani akowo
Sumuponi, now we are from four. When I'm Sumuponi, now we are Udini. Yes, 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 if Fred, yes, yes, Madame Econ.
We are Christian. Nana the Twati.
Dr. Pabo Bonuno. When you're a baby call and so touch a man pronti and you know that's why. Yo, my making camera drink chain be na enko any man pay Jumidi no so need 100.9 ya no pay Jumidi Ghana Montie Suni na we fitay or Finland or say I want to urge Nanado to expand Ghana prisons and make them comfortable to the taste of his family and friends or ministers and even to the taste of the journalists in his cartel, because one thing for sure every logical Ghanaian knows is that a lot of members of this government will go to jail when Mahama comes to power 2025. So it says, Mr. Mahama. That's a take from Finland or Dubai. When those on the ground call NPP leaders to inform them about what is going on, they won't listen. They are up there just chanting and breaking the eight with their mouth because they don't sit in trot with us. they should come to Domiko Abenya constituency and see what is going on. NPP is totally down, and Home Affairs have taken over. That is Ochiniba Kwame Brako Akura Taifa Junction Anodi Enufi Anodi Baye. I think Special Prosecutor freezing the asset of Sir John is a scam. In these days of doomsday, who believes in freezing? When we were here, when ex-PPP A-boss assets were frozen, yet he was able to take his cash out. That's abladed if you kuma zongo and the bar Yawuza. That was sure. I say many were those who lambasted the leadership of the Ghana Police Service and President Kufuor when Oliver Baka Volma was arrested for making reckless coup comment. And today, the same people are silent over his planned coup rehearsals. Want too much absurdity in this country, all in the name of democracy. That we support too much absurdity, all in this country, all in the name of democracy. That's Yauza Suame Enodi Fino de Bai. Chiefman, I commend the Ghana Police Service, the Northern Region, for arresting some of the people who were. Is it Northern Region? Not Northern Region. I think it's Upper West also. Who flogged the lady and the man. Ghana is not a banana state, so people should respect the human right and do the needful. Chiefman Atonsu Enodi. Sir John should bow down his head in shame wherever he is. He insulted President Mahama to the extent, former President Mahama, to the extent of calling him a thief, not knowing he was rather a thief. You throw a ball to the wall, it will bounce back at you. Meshach, Sante, Abuso Kaino di free and the buy. Ayi Michael Brekusu says, Kwesi, our sense of ethics as Africans is nothing to write home about. Because corruption is our nature, our nature. Development has eluded Africa. Ayi Michael, and Odiwe Edibaye. Some more messages. Rainbow Kaswa, as the Central Regional NPP elections takes off tomorrow, I wish your candidate the best of luck, especially Charles Kujo Odum, who is vying for the Assistant Secretary position. Long live the NPP, long live Ghana. Rainbow Kaswa, Enodi Free. Politics and democracy is not attractive in Ghana anymore. Go, the special prosecutor, but not only on the dead person, but those alive must also be brought to book. That is Labi from East Legon. All right. Mame home so harum say na me ma kwabna mbremu e na ye nto aso nyinsem no bi mfi de bon krata no. Ye kwabra.
Special prosecutor. Abusiafo ma me mfa bi mra. Obakwasi wa hu se akwantempo no mfimfini na ye nwura tata ho no. Ana wo democrat ka ho asem se sanwa mu na enso wo mu do. Sanwa mu na ye de ase wo mu nsew. Eno ane se nwura no e wo kwan no mu saa. Na ebia bi ti se weja ene ka so akwantempo no so. The same thing, a quantum finfini. And would I know young Cassasi a door. Now, when we tutor to turn the annual kama, and ye in flowers and home. Now you have a fair face you on no. The da make I cross us, I be in your dear near hole. And she a jaxi one massa. Baby, tis a wager. And a caswadia maca. Atimota de copoquase. The same thing. Legon ena Madina highway no so e kwan ni mfimfini ye jawo no memura no age wonum nyina aboso na obisa kuroimu mpenimfo se tatume nwa pa na ye na sede se esese ohye na oye me kuromote kama ye ja memura ni nyina efu aboso saa no enya kura anya nika nti wo mu nsa na wo mu ntu hu anamo kakra na adese hu ento wo mu. Na wasan ade aba Ghanaian Times katafe toso wote en wode oraki sie jabi mfoni abetoe na ose corruption aye devil a ewo nipa mu a ye generation esese etu ase enunti wakeka no ho na watasa original Latin word for corruption no na ye corruptio na corruptio that is to destroy enti ya kase ya Latin word no pampa enka ye ni ayeti ya ana sa ho no womtasa the Latin word is corruptio to destroy. The English version of corruption, meaning dishonesty or unethical conduct, a person entrusted with a position of authority, often to acquire personal benefit. The noun corruption comes from Latin, con, meaning with together, and rempere, meaning to break. Ade a yɛfrɛ ne sɛ corruption ɛno a na mabɔ no tɔfa de ama mo yi enti owura kesi agya bɛntrɛ sɛ obetu aseɛ kora afiri Ghana ha ɛma obiara te corruption din a obedwane nti nya ade a ɔbɛtena wɔ na kata asesɛ ne prɔyɛ etumi ebu afa yɛ so saa no way na demonstrators a wɔn so wɔn bɛyɛ demonstration ɔkatatie Kwame Afrifa Mensa Captain Smart, Benjamin Dako, Anna Oliver Bakavamawo. Now, Chief Inspector Bright Kwabena Accra Regional Public Affairs, Ghana Police Service. Anna Odekra Tema, woman say, a bet to me and Kadan one person ye demonstration, dear. Woman sang in who be you. None near man so I almost woman the demonstration, no. And so woman sang in who be you. Now, woman consambra. After date no ankasa nso pote no nso asɛm wɔ ho nti wɔn nsa nkɔtene saa nneɛma no nyinaa wɔn nsa mbra baake na ɛno ɛna ewura no mu nso kyerɛ sɛ ɛbɛm sɛ wɔn kɔma no boro so dodo nneɛma no wɔn kaa so wɔn de bɛyɛ demonstration no asɛ nneɛma no yɛ akɛseɛ dodo na demonstration yɛ ne June 4th yɛ mu a wɔabakɔsɛm wɔ Ghana ha obiara kora mpɛ so wɔbɛte ho asɛm nti aba ne sɛn ɛne yɛkɔ akɔyɛ wɔ yi a yɛde saa akadeɛ ne akodeɛ wɔ nyinaa bɛkurakura yɛde kɔ akɔyɛ ɛyɛ demonstration wɔn mu kyɛ so wɔn mu pakyɛw mpanimfoɔ ehu wɔn mu mmɔbɔ na His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mohammed Bawumia ɛne wɔn inauguratie 435 megavolt amp ɛwɔ Kasua bulk supply point wɔ Ewutu Senya East Municipality a ɛwɔ mfimfini mantem wɔn de $50 million facility a ɛyɛ United States government ɛna de ma yɛn wɔde na Millennium Challenge Corporation so ɛna wɔsi yɛn yɛ na yɛn trɛte nyina ma ahoɔden mu na no na Dr. Mohammed Bawumia ka kyerɛ wɔn mu sɛ aban yi ɛda n'akoma so paa sɛ ɔbɛma Ghanafoɔ nya enyinam nkanea egyina so hyerɛnhyerɛnhyerɛnhyerɛn enti na otu anamɔmpa sɛ yɛtetefoɔ no hyehyɛ yɛ a wɔni gyinaeɛ no na nne abɛmu yi na minorityfoɔ ɛna wɔn nso afaade motion na saa motion wɔn afaadeɛ no wɔn kyɛ sɛ wɔn hia nkyerɛmu bi ɛde ma COVID-19 ka bebrebe a yɛnyaeɛ nso sika no ho akontabuo no akɔyɛ nwonworaeɛ no wɔn srɛ sikasɛm so afoɔ sɛ ɔmmra hyɛ bɛgya fie na aban no mɛtrɛ de kodeɛ pɔtee yi a COVID-19 ba yɛ sika bebrebe a yɛnyaeɛ no adeɛ a wɔn de yɛɛyɛ na asɛm bi ni adanse a yɛtwa bi de yɛ adanseɛ ɛnkyɛn bi a na maame baako wɔtrɛ so wɔnya sika no bi sika no a wɔnyaeɛ no ɛyɛ COVID-19 sika no bi ɛne yɛde maa ne sɛ wɔmfa nyɛ ne campaign nti saa sika yi a yɛde ba bɛyɛ adwuma yi ɛna momo de yɛ campaign no wɔn ɛba abɛdɔ mu asukɔ ne ahyɛ birikodeɛ pɔtee pa a wɔn de sika no ɛkɔyɛɛyɛ na center spread wɔ Ghanaian Times wɔde ekuku damfoni abɛtoa wɔn wadi akotene executive body Pan African Heritage Museum ɛna wɔn pɛ kɛtɛsi kɔ ɛde ma Minister for Tourism Art and Culture Dr. Muhammad Ibrahim Awa ɛma wɔn kɔ discuss interest ya fa sector no ho enti wode makokreku mante ya makokreku okomra sebedeni akonya no wokọ akọgye wa yensia no ya wokọ akotu de wotiswe ni ase tu ayepe na omu aka nyina ya tuo mu nyina ya de ama makokreku mante isanse wono oya abrante bebunu a obetumi aye adwuma no pa na saa derigation owura lade na islander ana odi wo manim ekọ ni nyina aye kwampa museum no ebetumi ejina ne nase nti wo mu gina wo mu wie no ene wo mu twa photo fefefe makokreku mom de nyamse enka no kura wa ye gayo wasa jeans pa ana wasa mfaboa black wa bobet black na top black ene wo gina ase fefefe nse MP nso ebe fata no pa na nkwada wo manya diabetes wo mu dọọso nti abata no tresa munya careful da sugar bebre no aye de man nkwada no sugar ade bi akwara be de sugar wo drink odi ko school sugar obefie be di sugar ade na ye sugar nti enei anya nwanwa sa akwada ketu akora no wo da bi ade nsinkiase o ya ade we de mpanimfo ya de ukọkọrebu ena konfo anote ena kekosua enwanwa se nkwada nketu apa wo manya diabetes na sam ketu acting program manager na communicable disease Dr. Efu Akoma ena wode asemi tuda na wote se asese parent no yama ye ni kwankwada no pa wane nam wa se o kwada de se wo mu de sa na wo mu didie weni baba ahoso no na aketire na wenya diabetes ya edidi ni muwa na bebi ebekwa akoduro no obehu se ogina wuwo ne nkwankwanta ye nyina ye me ye ninna hwe na ye mo ye ho ban emfrida ye mo ye manso ho ban emfrida diabetes sanse yade bia ha agene pa na the obokrata me de atwaswe the obokrata friend say daily guide na daily guide the abokrata fe to so me ansa no wote say at long last patwo ebekoso ewo infinifini mantem regional executive delegate conference na womu de ne ye wochina ebekoso ewo nursing training college a wodunkawo wo infinifini mantem anopa nonkro na umasa na incumbent chairman ya friend Robert Kuti Jr. Ojinemu a wo president womu de nyanse bi akoto sunsu de rade adom womu a edisa nyanse no koye Mrs. Ama Mrs. Ransford Bosupe Mrs. Abeta Kun na Mrs. na Razak Nuruddin na Mrs. Muhammad Idrisu sankofoi ene womu de asem no koda akoto a sabre de womu aka asem na wie kama nti wochina awrade ya adom a Central Regional Battle na bekoso obi bisa se chairman Putin obetumi retain ni seat na se onipa foforo na oba enti nkosi adwada mpo da bi adwada kura de wa awrade ya adom a wochina no a ebom ho amane ode ononyamfo John Ampontia kuma oni ade ababeto anim say aye kama pa nice man oye deputy minister of finance ya tayamra sebeteni ma de se wa agisu and what say manifo at the report be by manifo report no mu de ba no mu anu mu ni mas ya no kura ntina wa ba bonte be ka te manifo se de omun sanko no mu mbra bio sanko mu peso mu paasam ede ma wo num so asem we de kotu a opam se wo mu a na ade a ebefetu mu kranti wayi ede atonten afei ononyamfo Francis Asenso Boache woye mra sebeteni a wogina ma ade hia wo bantam na juma penti obasa to aso akọ no post kurampa obi an contest no woye minister for Western Housing and what say ente aban ad be rolling out of flashing program bia a national rental assistance scheme edan buo hai eden pa edan pa de nanka ni kwan se ye hai dan a ye tua sika titiri di bebre sa nka bi a 3 month 6 month 1 year enna de efia wurafo yi obitumi de ne dan 2 years ebi de 3 years unkoka wa se ha aban kwasi dan ni bi no ono nso fa ma hai na won tsa de etie na mra sebe de fie na woyi nsam wano efiri gotes ya wodo drainage ya wodo akasa kama tata papa hu say he is on top of the issues okasa ma hu say the akọ cabinet ye na woyi ano niema egu akwan mu a aban be roll out ni nyina na woyi ano anu wosre efie wurafo ne samadawroma tadi omu sima dan bo eyedin aya wo mu hu nipa mobo kakra ate hu nipa mobo 3 month amonye 6 month amonye na de bia na fie wurafo to dan boom no mu to dan boom ya wanse se ne mra bi e bata dan boom batente aban kra de se bi ba oba be boa na emebunu ni titiriwu o manya dan a o mu be haya ye be san so a support wo mu asa that nso omu assign aboa rent control department that the beya and somewhere ba wo mu akati nyina omu betumi edi ne kama eniama papa de is in the pipeline asisa ne kama na ba kwa me de atua so ewo de bokrata yenim ha and what say Dr. Amuakoba wo kojinaye nanka okwa akopre MPP amanyoko national chairman but wokoye no we nyeska famu isi delegate no enyeso obi obetumi aya adwuma betumi aya adwuma kra na hwe ni hu a oboa ya ntema kuta wa 1 cedi ni otu 1000 po ya nto amano na kwa ukura 1 cedi 1 cedi de hwana edba asada kwasesa wa 1 cedi afoforo bebre ene ukura wonse 1 cedi no bondo mpo ya 100 Ghana na wasa atemu amani pani bi na beto abama obi anto abama ana wakatira Dr. Mohammed Baumi ase wono wa na ekosi aka don da mani mahama wono obetumi no muamu amemmuo ya ampeni na du buoi ya ade amemmuo ni ye papa ene yasanka yase adowa no ho wodom na yi ama na fikotu amansa sanka mampeni na do amemmuo yi ye papa kura ade a ene anka Dr. Mohammed Baumi ya wa chance ya wobetumi di akro na Dr. Muakoba atiremu a wose mampeni na do amemmuo wono ankasa ye MPP ni omu aye campaign tia dontamani ma ayemanimu sam wakasa pa campaign ye woye bi na watra se campaign na do danko akufuado na wonim se ade ado na be di ade wanse ni sire na do pa wonim no sometime ago his excellency anyu wonu nie amemu pa na ya troka sei na wonim ade akura betumi save MPP efiri sa abrede ko what is wo mu kat wo mu bebre create a wotumi seria no wo ni nsem se that 8 no wo mu ne wan na ekọ break na wan na ekoto abakura ma MPP amanyoko se won ko break 8 no na won kwate a Dr. Mohammed Baumi ase wo ba betire ma break 8 wono kura de enkonko pe ba bi ntina kura no won twen se ewurade baye na domo a na nka da ate ankwa mebi ade ba pa na wo begira so aye campaign amemmuo no a enkoyie ensese bibia di nsem enti wo ka tre ni praying say sa breaking the 8 ne de wo mo kan wo ma no akekenya ade a ebetumi abem.
One delegate, one scholarship to America. One delegate, one scholarship to America. Meaning, say wunu why all mine out to me qua oba na se offer. Se me diffia mienu ewo akunya so na me ma one delegate one scholarship wa mumma pam me free office no mumma pam me
well Ora na sebem so ochina na New Patriotic Party Womo sha womo beto Central Region.
Central Region.
Okay.
I said last week ya bo mo ama. Omo din janse ato. Ya tema akutin kura na de bae. Ti afedie. Ejebo.
Yeah.
Kenya babe.
No correct.
Sina na urade ya domo mbeto no wo dunkwa. Ubetumi afa ahase kumase kwa akọ. And now was Central Region. I ubetumi afa chufu praso. Uko fata kra itakra de dia wadodo. Ubetumi afa chufu praso. Kwan ne na enye. But ubetumi ama na ejin kakra nkra. Na ode akwa akopiem e wo dunkwa. Enti womba kwa akoto aba. Etema nkutin. Ogine mu setema. Abakwesi womba tuwo. Nursing training college e wo dunkwa. Anopa no nkro. Enti wo mu de no. Ya do me fe na we puma kwam betumi
And he said nansu ye June 3 him so be kaya you see me so say okay pa amfie be ansu ni yeah
that 3rd June
yeah insu to ye na yi secret ho no
yeah me po ye no na me sese de insu na mu na ansa sa time ne ye drive talk no
okay I mean come on so me ba ni atoa so senior na yebo etiefum no ye ni Ora Evans ni Mako Director of Elections and Research ma ye New Patriotic Party Central Region nya ntie so ochina na omoto omaba ye ni Ora ni Mako ni hu enkomo Ran wakeda asimu akwa baba ni TFM so anope
ababa jeme joso
nempomu da ho ye so ye nya ntie so ochina Central Region finfi mantem na abato no ebe koso ya yenim dia na betimi akache ya de krontia fi na Central Region dia no ye shase background
yo mama na na creative what's no nyina ewie ya ye ba be regional and delegate conference ewo 16 regions nyina na emnetie mu a eba bebe no na yin party members ni bia ewo a constituency e court ewo kepo the Montie say the regional and delegate conference I constituency in the court elfa sanction into so and no a regional chairman or ye Ura Kuti Idi eka hunti nyesa eka samankata. Ano senti na mresi no kwan so be free regional annual delegate conference. Na ka shem se meme ndi twam no. Ano mbetimi ato omaba. According to semi amaso. And some ba be do alternative dispute resolution committee Mami Cecilia Blanda pa dano. Enkita hundie akoso. You see, when I say you conclude ye no. Oba say entiasia ba na ati court no. E ma court nya yes say party nhihye no. E de begu akwam ama e constituency etumi ato maba. Say de beya regional chairman F-Frey, regional annual delegate conference for Central Region. The constituency for Quebec. Internal court, it's a Siaba. The same party shame no and ne the constituency delegate conference. No marginal for about Ama executive. It could be a Yotna Memenda. Regional annual delegate conference our Central Region also be back. And no more a delegate and to be now so atuaba ama party mpanyinfo pese make the party name our region and share a party and nyina na say
any electoral commission it's also no very any Ghana Police Service in Kitawudi Abawiya Emrakwamu Shebia Essessa ye no eye enunti ye ibie wonyamimu ehwese the Central Region bitimi aye na regional no delegate na elections committee no ewie na adwuma enunti prospective candidates about before the elections committee no on one term committee no akanwie the about do Dambojo committee anima ono ye national appeals committee no and also aye ni die wie it's summary obia or apply say obeko contest ni bi or Central Region no no ama ho kwansa idi obiam ne say the party constitution any rules and regulations are National Council ma kwanya e ma party ne shita by na ebe ye adwuma nti ubia oye prospective candidate ubehwe say ubedi so pepepe ubia oye delegate abeko conference no ubedi party no so delegate to that conference regional executive committee members regional executives constituency executive committee members in the Central Region. There were 23 constituencies. Constituency here was 17 executives. As delegates to the conference. The members of parliament are almost Central Region. Only delegates to the conference. Council a council of elders. Any patrons, the whole region. Almost to be you munipa. Then each represent our conference. The National Council representatives from the region delegate to the conference. And accredited testing institutions are a Central Region, almost to be Nipa Bakwan or Baby Show my name. Institution be the Bakon ever. And which foundation members almost time party in Kata or by a near Marco Electoral Commission will be our host or a delegate to the conference. Nine, it will be a consular. Well, need to a delegate, winning. Well, we need to or a candidate, winning. The claim say, or come in Yamekono. They are the past. At the cheaper be my, I mean, yet me a conference.
And Dinkono Fins and kind Honamukwa Kotono.
Party nation, mono. Yeah, there be a year conference. And the regional elections committee. Committee a party in Penifua, almost a party last year. Only Munim said they handle party internal issues. If Nadia will be imposed to be there, it will be so. Party also no, our region in into there. Omoye say, Omafa, a beboa party in Kanko, a bema party no. A family juma, a costro, a day, a moral beba party. He said, a nona committee naya, maintain one year, a chichi, make us say the committee in the kind of, and share on my how many please for Kita Mudi, electoral commission discussions, no, in our cost of paper.
Okay, and so that's the only region I'm talking about.
Central Region, so far there.
Okay.
We all the in Aquacane.
Okay.
We are not just we all regional and delegate conferences. And on my Bema national chairman, Rua Freddy Blay, Aquania, almost regional so affair national and delegate conference. It's a party by 15th, 16th, and 17th of July 2022. A conference no.
Okay, all right. Well, in China, me assure say by Monday, in Kwanya Hodin Oha, na Yabana Yababi Dinko be account as to how I call you.
And I say, I make us say, and I say, and command media for said the Mudi in China, swaying. It is a terminal, passing paying for anybody and command in where they. I mean, this year.
That's it. That's Evans Nimakon, Director of Elections and Research, man, New Patriotic Party, or China, the only region, Aka, our year, one more, about to internal elections, one more year, or China, said, Nanny or China, not just one more decision, na, Omovie, until who be and copying bears a Jada dear, no movie. Cabra, then I want Carter and Ovie, and pay, na, Minya, Quina, Yanimpin from some meeting come on. So we okay, me that say. Enti Sabri non kunaba pansima enso mempinfo agye kunwa e wo studio no hanom si anope o mba be boa na yaje omo so ma dwenche ya discussing segment Banasco Ampon Ansa of the MPP and Emmanuel Adote Alote of the NDC and ya ni omo ba be discussion anope wo ye dwumedi so na ma dwenche no bi so aba making kan bi na ye pia dwumedi no e de akọ nanim enti minyi break akra na etifo. We see, what is Dr. Makoba saying? That Dr. Bawumia should step aside. Has he forgotten the major role that Dr. Bawumia played when the NPP went to the Supreme Court in 2012? Where was he? Dr. Makoba should leave Dr. Bawumia alone. Mr. Tech, Golf Estate, Tema, NOD free, NOD buy. I think Ghanaians are not angry enough. Paving the way for this government to do whatever they want to do. That time we changed our modus operandi to be more aggressive on this government. Otherwise, they will continue to take us for granted and impose more hardships on us. Alaji Willie P. Kuma and the free not buy. If I were ex-President John Mahama, I would not contest for the flag bearership position of the NDC again. He should step aside for Dr. Kwabena Dufour because even if he wins the 2024 general election, he will have only one term of office. So why the rush? But Ghanaians will never make any mistake by voting for JDM and the NDC because we've seen all the good works that President Akufo-Addo led NPP government is doing. So no need for change. Ya Osankidi Edi Free Taifa and Odiano Edibaye. Some of Asofo in Ghana, journalists, lawyers, politicians, nurses, teachers, and the other professionals and the individuals are very corrupt. But we always turn around and do the blame game. What in Denmark? And all the buy. Teacher Kujo Chobodama Dentasi says, Ghanaians, let's not make the mistake of the past, where political power was given to the clueless NDC due to their propaganda and lies. Pichi Brim from Aberoanko. You see Ajibens. You want me to mention his name 3 times? How many times have I mentioned your name? Why won't you allow Sir John to rest peacefully? The Bible says, let the dead bury the dead. If you don't want any case to investigate, if you don't have any case to investigate, I can help you. Go and investigate Government Officer 1 and Intermediary 5. These are cases we are expecting you to work on. That's Pichi Brim from Abrewanko and Odianoba. Enoch Asaman Kese. With all these hardships and suffering on Ghanaians, the NPP is still shouting, breaking the 8. With all these economic mismanagement, high-level corruption and grabbing of state properties by the people in this government, you want to break the 8. Enoch Asaman Kese and Odianu Free and Odebai. Adolf Hitler, Medina, seeks the country convenience. You better be sorry for what you wrote to the Ghana Police Service. Good citizens will not even think of what you intended doing. Any weapon that will fight against Nanado's governance will not prosper. Shame on you. That is one here from Adolf Hitler and Odiano Edebai. Kofi Kodia, Asokwa Lobito. I beg government to do something about the school feeding program because our school going children need to be fed. The caterers must have patience with the government and sit down with the government on their demands. Kofi Kodia, and Odiano Bai. Need 100.9. Ghana Montie Suni.
Ghana Montie. Ghana Montie. Ghana Montie. Ghana Montie. Odesampa bo. Kasia bo. Kowaka temunsa. Amaya se. Kasia waye. Onye yimu.
Police ni any fire service ni ti kem na mate ni jiji sika e baby asem ni free
Trust.
wajiji a odu front o mu nyina so te front o say yes one front police na etia na fire na etia na police ya fire na fire nso ahwe
Police. Abai.
egusu ni yeko o say yes one front oh na driver ni bo break show o ti kwasi o ti massa boni patrol di no face kama o say fire Mr. Wa Mr. Wa
Yeah, say more. And easy.
Son, I think last month or so, he made another comment. And as usual, people will say that, oh, madam, you are above it, don't talk. But let me tell you, if somebody closes his eyes to damage you, there is nothing like you are above responding to such a person. That one day, I will not take it. I will also have to come out and explain myself. If that makes me a bad leader, fine. But I will have to explain myself. And I know there are descending people on this platform who will listen and do their own investigations. The COVID fund came. I was given 50,000. Oh. My quota was 50,000 as a regional second vice. Then, who doubles as a parliamentary candidate for Sanargu? I had another 50,000 cedis, making it 100,000. Then the constituency were given, is it 200,000 or so? I can't remember. So I called for, and MCE was given 30,000. I can't remember. Then chairman was given 20,000, and I think the other executives did 10,000, or was it chairman was giving 10,000? But I can't remember. So I called them to a meeting. I called the constituency executive to a meeting. And I told them that, fine, for me, I am going to add all the 100,000 that I am entitled to the constituency. Listen, oh, I am handing over all my 100,000 to the constituency money. I didn't ask any executive to add his money to what I was going to give to the women. I handed over the forms and everybody to the team, and we went round and we did the disbursement. The next step was, I have taken police station executives' money and I want to spend that money. My 100,000, not even one that I filled for somebody in my house. Not even one that I filled for a member of my team. Secretary, Karamba, Polo, chairman, they were in charge. After that, their form and everything was not given to me. They sent it straight to regional secretary, and regional secretary sent it to Accra directly. So my brothers, where did I spend the money? When I even added everything, not even a peso I took from it. What kind of propaganda is this? What kind of propaganda is this? So please, let's learn to tell each other the truth. You may not like me, but when you are talking about the things I have done, talk about the truth. If you respond with lies, I will come back and counter, because I will not keep quiet. It is only a dead body that you can lie on. I will not keep quiet to say that, oh, a leader there, you don't have to talk. A leader there, you don't have to talk. A leader, you don't have to talk, and somebody is always destroying you. I will talk. I will talk and I explain to the level-headed people on the platform.
Yati. Well, Mamima, Emmanuel. Adote Alote, Watna say of the NDC, Mimana Akwaba, na Yenshi and Comanasi, Ima Akwaba.
Yo, Midasi, Mr. Kusabaji.
Niamum Tizendia.
Nyamiadum, now so.
Now Chibi come out there.
Nyamiadum. Baby, I do this, and Yamin Kawa. Offer, and easy. Nti, as I can say, Eddie Manami, I don't pay. Na Mefa Quenya wins to a chia. Me NDC in paying for Nina, Michio Munina, no pay. Na Miss Sanchia, NDC, what Anyasu too. And pay for you now one year to Michio Bia Oti and Yasu to and no pay. And this in paying for 1 year to move Bujuma ye pa. Currently, a year reorganization, any limited registration. Ubia in the branch executives, Ubia Ebwa, and no pay Michio Munina and Anfis Yamishi Bia say a Jumadia, all you say politics there at the grassroots level. I can tell you new. The sacrificial job nti nyame hye omo say omo so endis no yie pa ewo anya so to nyame hye obia no pay
yes you that see na yan enhye nkomo na see yin nkomo yan hwe special prosecutor office of the special prosecutor smo odiaba aba to ja Sir John ora kwadwo su efie I'm sure say what to think nkomo no bia kama and the lead story of the Daily Graphic was said John's asset frozen. Office of Special Prosecutor moves to freeze those overseas too. And teacher said, "Newa man on ekran so no or person then in sato so." Montie, the Office of Special Prosecutor and I'm more to saying and now who Emmanuel.
Yo, Midasi. Na em say when you know is based on the late former secretary of the MPP, ne Wheeler, Ebetu Abontino. Yeah, I'm saying when you know everywhere, and it's stemming from the fact say now in Sensible Ewo Achimota Forest. Now in the will, so they say who say or the insasino be Eddie Manning Crow for now say Imba or relatives. I mean forever. Into when you know and Sparky we know. It's a good thing for me. I will support the OSP. Na asset bia or Sir John Ewono to be frozen for now because Ministry of Lands omuka say like they are doing investigation as to why we have some state lands. They say Achimota Forest ni Ramsar site nyina Ewoni will. So once there's investigation freezing the asset I think it's in good order. But near ebe hakakra ni say near can asem no on you. That's the whole thing high. And if the OSP want to go further to do any other work, no, who will stand in instead of anything or Sir John? That's the whole thing. But freezing the asset, send we can do proper investigation. Now things near ewa will no ebia conflict of interest in Ninsa etumika government of Ghana and I say the state can do something about it. Any personal, achievement and I say personal baby on Ankasa Oboni bra or Nya. I mean it's for him. I say baby ewo for the state. Let's say yes, share. Random let's say there's conflict of interest in acquiring that property because Tambrena Onya Chimotani Ramsar site he was the CEO of the Forestry Commission. And for every job, one of the policies we look out for is the conflict of what interest. How and when how to mean buying and as a state property, then if the OSP will freeze the asset, I say we are okay with that. But you're doing purpose we need words from near any Diano and I say near Ochiro will know. What are we going to do? And I don't know. Maybe the lawyers will tell us if the in Crawford Mudin say they are taking over those assets. They can be answerable to questions. And I say in summer OSP baby sano, then they should tell us. But it's not that the asset must be frozen. Because Osha will never offer and me can't say or say John. Bra there be me can't say maybe onye sika and I say ombo ejuma bet me send money in there be but some of the things in SMP so we need to put things at the right perspective so we are for it. But only ye. But only say, will we ever to abontin recently?
Yeah.
Achimota Forest in Sensem ever to abontin recently. And with the speed that OSP, dealing with Jumano, is good. But the question is, in same baby, na good table so. In same baby concerning state asset. Baby, a good table so. Nansebe Kaya, PPA in same say no. Obabontin. Now maybe if you say Obabontin because in Crawford can say man who has gotten access to Nisika account. The account has been frozen. No, when you Nisika nina. Oh, which to me is a criminal offense. Oh, yeka sa no na Obabontin. Obabontin we don't know where and what at all yet concern that issue. But the substantive issue no. Concern the PPA boss, no. We don't know how far. We don't know what at all or That's the main thing. And I think so. We make a National Youth Authority in Sensem so Edaho. It's 70 also. More than 18 cases at the table today. And also, what is he doing about it? With the speeder or the ama, if anything, Ora say John, he will in Sensem no. The other you said on the table. So what is? I think that office they must be briefing the media more. If anything, media space. No, they should be briefing you. And the course no. Yes, NTB.
Emmanuel, me samba usubium, but sankomo ya idea no. Other perspective to it. Ye pese ni imrenim ni nana obribu ahin edi ho nkomo kakra nti mame nko amano so na ye ne nana eni nkomo na ye nsambra. Nana da se mo akwa baba Neat FM so.
So kwasi.
Nana Anamwa Office of the Special Prosecutor to Corruption Watch kratom de koma mo petition no NCC ababe to just say we freeze ne assets oda so eguso hwe se overseas dey nso no obe freeze no sanity was imrenim ni.
Well, me ya now say case we aba no igina mo as lawyer ma say John Abusianfo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, igina mo as lawyer e ma say John Oyoko Abusiano free Sakara no.
Oh, okay. Da ben no mo files lawyer ni.
Me fan say ben na otwese me.
Okay.
Yeah, me fan say ben na otwese me. What was spearheaded by Chaf.
Achazuzu.
Achazuzu.
Okay. And okay, boy kakro. Ukase ujina honum saying as ema ebusiana. Yenim say you see will no cry no and so akwa ko di court enum na ugina ho no mo ana de hi pa
ni nyina no nansi ameka se mi gina mabusia no se o hwa emma ene yere ewo baabi ana busia no so wo baabi nti mentimi ko ka se me kasa ma yere ne ma ene wo mo nyina because as a lawyer Baba himself, and you know how my better mentimi aka.
So or yere and I yere ne emba. Me fan say womu ewa one side and na say John Nebusia.
Yes, but that is what the family told me. Better mean you know homa. The Sabbath say me na mabina. Better daddy Abusia, Jina homa Abusia ko. It will be Sabbath. And the victim in Tia catcher and said, Mina of Mabusian Coman.
And she a quum you knew him fan say, sir, or no more action or court.
I am more shut down train. Well, no, I am no correct, and I am no correct. A signature near the Ananya and the answer. All you need a bear, and you say, court on gray, be now on my and I'm forced to be. That is the instructions I've received from the family. Okay, and yes, sir, but should I really be a but it be angry na kuna force unyabi. That is all. That is the instructions I have from the family.
Okay. Enti kunafo na ekunafo.
Well, they told me say kunafo. Because he had we some people so yeah kunafo na kunafo. Some of them never catch a better kunafo. But catch a kunafo no. Better kunafo.
Enti mfan say
when you kunafo no.
adwo kue wa bono aso so de ben kan kyerɛ.
Okay, because some person minya santi asie no many metie for say eh oyire baako ano ba baako ho asɛm de kana bia ma
bɛka kunafo na nso ba boni gyina nkyerɛ. Bɛka kunafo.
Okay, all right, which means more than one eboa.
Okay, bro, okay, kunani was kuna santi.
Okay,
kunani kasa bora baako.
Enti enye se ebusua no se ejapade enye bi enti epre bat ebusua no ka kire emma ne se mumma kunafo no nso
no, I think that the kunafo na de koye. Kunafo ana kunani bi na de koye na me nyisu kunafo. Nyisu twini. Kunani bi na de koye ana kunani no na de koye.
Okay.
Nti enye te se mkora no na abusua no be twin barre sa. But these are the instructions I have from the family. This will be what contrary instructions are. And can't say any parents sweating. That means instructions are better than now, that's special prosecutor. So, all your Najumanamboa. I am Rakwan, so now you're Najumamboa. Yeah. What is it? What can say? What freezy? Now, all your shushibu. No, as a lawyer, like as also the one can keke, the mafrizia. I know the oboa. There must be a publication. It has to be a bachelor. I'm a beneficiary in some of the menanet so. An obey publication in the papers. Then public announcement. When Monshen he said, if we never said John, see. The young is a Nabusian form. The seeing and a moa able to. And answer troll. Problem. The say. But a 7 cheddar man marching, on cheddar man 17 years. For instance, I didn't even says, a 7 now kind but a view, and I teach him. Because although I can't try, sorry, it is also the fun of try. Or no, I can't try. There's also fun of try. The Tonuquanam or Tuanamon anymore. We are not saying, sir, on to me challenge, or 2 minutes be it is young Tokano Bino. You didn't send a Juman oil. Now, on my answer to say, sin here. Yes, whom I won't see in scene. Yes, so you're young. FM station be, I'm in right. I don't know, Sir John, I said, no, make me so confident. I mean, you know, giddy, special prosecutor. And I'm no counsel, no. I'm so me, no. And I'm no counsel, and I'm Madame Mayor. No, we share lawyer in use of sin. Statement to be not what the Bible. Whatever the assassin more than 100 acres. At my old family, no, out of compassionate grounds. I think around 2013. I'm a lawyer, kind. And you know, with a Ghana for, in the end, baby, but the more family, no. Is it not possible, sir? Whole family, no, on assassin be. It is possible. Whole family, on assassin be. Sabi kafrachu, betonoma nipa, and betonoma nipa. The betonoma nipa, the Sir John Tobia, Sir John Nipa, Sir John no nipa. So I look very relaxed because you know, as Okoria assassin. Now I thought, and now I yebi to be a tonamano. You know, I'm catching the person. I look very relaxed because one talk across there. But you see, assimilation. Even with things fair, forest be, quiet be, but she will need Piaka in 1921 with Pia compensation. Now, I bind Biaba in 2013. I bind on compassionate grounds. Continue compassionate ground where even compensation has been paid. Now, African politicians we think as on compassionate grounds. That it can be more than 100 acres. Then we should begin to question and say, okay, na saa nneɛma no aba ana
Okay, me sure say need na mu sa details here be a do time so omo ankasa omo transfer so but there are some questions here be in same be person again let me my main refer to krata na Office of the Special Prosecutor Alberto Giano and kind munsem no tia commencement of investigations state of Kojo Free. Now the Office of the Special Prosecutor OSP has commenced full investigations into suspected corruption and corruption-related offences in respect of alleged improper and unlawful acquisition of state lands at the Achimota Forest Enclave and Ramsar catchment at Sakumono in Accra by the former Chief Executive of Forestry Commission, Kojo Suefri alias John, now deceased, and other persons. Now, the Ministry for Lands and Natural Resources is directed to fully cooperate with the OSP in the investigations. Now, who can be about Niama says, "So ye say obetu sa na mo na so otwere busuan right to the family." So ye publication.
No, the minister, the Office of Special Prosecutor. Speaking as a law, me ni say why bone. Let ya o krata o kan ni say o kire say o kan kire Minister of Lands Forestry and Lands Commission. So mo this we could directly or indirectly no crime. And yes, John Abusian force apple no cancer as a natural. Yet also be also the welfare association. Why not? In a Juma about Manamana coin. It was your young more. Minions will be coaching Chana because you're in my opinion. Let's allow him to do that investigation. Let's allow him to do that investigation. Because then you will see the Ghana paying for you now, I did you make your seventh. If we say you for whom you have told us abroad, maybe Bob home more than maybe you know, come send you all year. Think about Nibianka and then send me the Gua ear can. So for us, you have nobody be you. All the Lands Commission corporate. It's like the Minister for Lands and Forestry, Abujina Podioke. Very perfect. You to chairman. Minister no here S conference no na. Or the Enunti ma kan chere Lands Commission and Forestry Commission. Then krata be was I in ben famra. I think the minister is right. Oh me I say hey na then na wo frɛ. Adentina nsɛm bebree gu hɔ na wonye nhwehwɛmu na we na wonye nhwehwɛmu. No. I think we should all cooperate with the minister. We should all cooperate with the special prosecutor. No man can say kwasi na kwadudi ana kwabana di. E fa ye nyina ho. Nhwehwɛmu no ne besinansi a zaka san krata bi nsu toy na krata bi ayera. Se na bi apia. Ana deputy minister baka say krata na nsu kan na kra na nya krata bi ha. Se no bi a ho atɔ. So as a country, let's cooperate with all individuals and institutions. Office of Special Prosecutor, Minister of Company, Minister for Lands and Forestry, Minister of Company. Also, do yes, Omobian cooperative. At least, me give this a senka and check. Number the Barbania Sassy Duo, a Chimota, Pono, a free sequential coy. Any platoon to be deemed managed. Barbania Bibiana, then some to Jack, the young and also double your money. No, my money, I couldn't. It'll be Jones as I see you are Banaji. You see, at the Asaman Catcher and less Uba, Kumasia, opposite Coco Clinic. As I said, that would mean I asked him, Hanadia. And I began a titty found as a Makuna. And I beg the Ghana Railways for, and the Ghana Railways for the Lands Commission for the Traton. They are Tinton, they are Tinton. They are Tinton. And High Court 8, case be a buyer. Lighthouse. Ghana Railways Assassin, I beg you for us in home. But Tonama Lighthouse. Maybe Shaka Tonama, Lebanese. And Court 8. As soon as I manage your non fan, I don't know first in me, assassin command. Bishop Kumaki, as a near as a be future. Future say be future. As well as dispatch. I can quite. I can come and check. What a ye, there are no more if I. Women are balanced as a plan bear tongue, say bear tobo food. Shamla crusading guy. Mempas, Mokan, some impasser man as a memper, and kind, that be Mokan impasser. Among for your demonstration. It is going on all over the country. As I see a banity, in your lord the baggy. No one finding it. Maybe in the tree chapel. When a wine cocker. When a wine cocker.
But Nana, Mamimbu South Assimi, in near a country cry, making kind cratano. Unsel can be says, special prosecutor, no, or baby BCA, as so sure at the bar a Busiano, so a publication near account. Minim Ukai Kratana, in fairness, was see what share full investigation, I say. But it is not stated clearly, say, Bia, what the Ninsa Atu a yet ne asset, so any near account as.
We not all at all. So, Lord, you have to sue. So, this investigation. So, what I know, let's give him the necessary cooperation, support and assistance. Let's give the minister necessary cooperation, support and assistance.
So by that, as lawyer Neil Jama Busiano say yes, Busiano, assume homogeneous pepem says, so a person obeying you on Yenshimu.
Non to know some friend, you see me, Yano says, John, Uncle Talk on the one talk on the Namum, more name, yes, John, on my notable.
No, but they didn't say almost share stealing. You almost say corruption related.
Yeah, no, just say. Yaman, yes, and any okonakrachi. Babetia Senesua, corruption and corruption related. As far as Achimotane Ramsian, but it is good for us as a country.
Okay. Which means a family Busiana who cooperate, Basse, Omuhia, Omumwa, one more weapons on Beba.
Now, a Ria and Numera and Nancho, Busiano corporate. No, my Ghana for my young corporate. Now, I am my country and paying for the Senegal, and it shouldn't be a 9-day wonder. Last week and last 2 weeks, there's a young man. I'll call you your friend Derek G. In fact, now I am a member of Dr. Bedamo's party Reform Party. He was a NDC man. He joined Reform and later joined NDC. Professor Moss was a youth and as a mad know or true articles to be. Now, Mecanian, the transiting. I have gone a catcher for your from Indian King and Cratan, the King Canaswa. Indian Fanny Juma. Derek J raised very pertinent issues. Ebu Bobo Bon kind of be brief. Assasia Banji, Assasia and Cram Cribilumaton. A special prosecutor Udima. One can chance only Derek J. Articles 2 not Troy. A very, very educative and informative. Never broken up. Mama young, yes, Sabi, I don't know your politics, no connect into what attach into your TV than him. Yeah, yes, so benefit, you are swatching what an ramsa. And me, in Sansia, we're going to head in
all right. Okay. Nana, Medas in this year, saying, I'm sure Panopi. Right. Nana Obribwahi, a Mrenimni, and our Decacadia boy, no ma. Mima Emmanuel, Aloti, Only mine, Banasco, Amponansa, also of MPP Emblem. You want me to say? 2 years, lawyer.
Martino, but there are, I think, 2 quick corrections.
Okay.
Ushe in Semna, Betuja on the Achimota Forest. It's 1921 acquisition and 1927. Baku ma yema compensation concerning Achimota Secondary School. And in 4,000 pounds. No. And he na or can say, Adia Yama. Yatia and who's Kadiama, it was a phone. Adentina, and I end this 2013. No, Ralph Hussein can say they gave out the land on compassionate grounds. Near Edima, no, for the secondary school side. No, now other ones, no, and that's the reason why I didn't cry starting from Oracle for Bresson. To the extent, say, committee IAT, Yedi, MC Lawyer Kwame Jan, Cry Council Committee. No, they also agree, say, we have to give them compensation on compassionate grounds. It's the same thing now. Yeah, NDC by 2011, 2013, no, Rafu say no, so ADN, HUS and Yamamu 118 acres of land. Until a whole that correction should be made. In Grofoni, Yamamu, compensation dada. Now, the mom was the first one. Now, near a highest say, 2013, no, they were giving compensation on compassionate grounds. That is the 118 acres of lands. Near APM say with the EI 144 no. That is what is bringing all the confusion. Say at the 118 no. Currently you are going to give them 361. Can you give us a request because time I 2009 say no. They renewed their request. Documents are there to show. Say mobile say Oracle for start here and we edit everything be by ne and can say you are moving from 118 to 361 no. Where are the documents? I actually say the Owu family, the supposed Owu family, Montie here, they have come to you say and why are you changing from 118 to 361? These are the things. A honor, a lady to Sir John will now. And then say 118 no. Sir John Etobi. No, 361.
Okay, all right.
So those are the things.
May I say that's Emmanuel Alote of NDC. Mamima Banasco, Amponansa of MPP. So Akwabana Yentie Special Prosecutor Namoya Woti. Any Nchichimuka Kranso lawyer Bibo idea by Bob. Banasco.
Awade?
Yeah, Akwaba.
Ijao.
Josu.
Dijate. Me kwese baby kakra ko ye adwuma ba ko mienu bi.
Akwaba.
Madaroma. Mpa ebo so eta ye tinti. Ya bedu asumdwem. Na se bibia bokode.
Yeah, nyame adaro.
Edika ma mintia etiefo baby bia wafidie kese ekokodu bia. Na yenda nyame ase wo prempren so de adu. Wagitia wa se wa mama akwanya yi ma memfa sa akwanya yi so na mintia eye mfimfi mantom Central Region MPP fo nyina. Ami ya adomo a emse ekina na yede ya abato a regional elections eba so. Ni ametumi aka ne se mema obi bia tirikwa in advance. Every woman a umugina chairman na kosi the last person. Ami adom for the first time emse over 15 years. Eskumodo bembra kwa mempeso aso michia mu anopa yi. Yenu ya Michael Kodwo chairman tin so ejina mu bi for the first time. Ye bompa ye ma no se nyame be na dom na treasurer no ne sabeka see for see homeopathy Michael Kodwo chairman tin nti mesre ne sa na mi wi amaka se ye ma asomdwe embra ye nyina ye be hia odunkwawo na minim se ye be wie no na nimdie no aba ma MPP amanyoko no minua mesre ensensem a abeto ho special prosecutor ne dia ekoso nyina no me no mefa no from the rhetorical question point of view said the dan nyina me ye no no edikan anyinye bia asase a ye ka nwasem a ye tiwu da rei eye no krese the year 2013 aban a no ote so a eye NDC aban under Ampeninda da John Dramani Mahama a na ni minister of lands and natural resources here Inusa Fuseni omuma eye Owu family no asase tambia na eno ni asema mi bi se tiefo nyina ye nyina yin ya no ewo ya kwan mu atosu biu se minim se Inusa Fuseni eka wo wafidie ya so se enipa no ehwehwe esenke ye bemo omo eye 193 acres of land but omote so abedu 118 abwaje mpato se no ye established fact emom 118 anyembia mesra bisawo ye ka asasi nwasem nyina no obi abisa ni yahwehwe mu tanyinye bia ye de sa asase tam no ma abusua no eden no mo de ye did they develop it? Did they build on it? Did they share it? Did they sell it? Those questions have not been established. Yes, NDP. Yen nyina ye kan say we yakoto asase we yakoto say akanfo wo bebuo bi say se wo pia abre wa wi a bebi obekwa koto no na nka ye wachi asem nti anyambia NDC na umaje gina mo kan nsem yi misra bisa wo bra wo musuma abre wa omuma eye Owo family no 118 acres of the land no wo mu wie ye omu bisa omu de omu de asase ne ye se de omu de ye no mu nimu a nko mo boy amane na enye kama na ye hu se obi bia okoto obi bia no koto ademude because abwaji meti ye se mesume pa asase bia to enji se meti se asase bi da prime area na ye de ni rade ahye no government agin sase a it is invested in the interest of the state
ɛno no yɛ ɔman no dia deɛ yɛka sɛ deɛ ɔman no anaasɛ aban no nkyekyɛma nso obiara so directive principle of state policy na moka no aban no na ɛwɔ ho nsusuansoɔ sɛ ɛyɛ wo dia nti ima momo asase ne yɛde ama mo after giving you the land can there be an establishment anaasɛ yɛ obi betumi asipi aka sɛ yɛde asase no ma wɔn no when normally yɛyɛ if I get to know of that then I cannot develop my argument. Mr. Wu, meba, mini for nekasa. I said I'm asking rhetorical questions. Let the listeners respond. If we establish say yedi assassin ma woman no, say no ya, and kabe yede. But what the masasi amame, ideally ayamedia, and I would amame. The media no has not been established by anybody, and nobody has put it forward. If you think you have the answers when I finish, you can provide them. But so much yo, so much yo, so much discussing then yo, so much ye yo, yenina no yenim. But there is an established fact. Inu Safuseni can wear fidia so. Now remember, say on the 20th of May, me be fidia so na we interview no, he said it. Say, na abusuano per 193 acres, by your mom 118 on compassionate grounds. Ehumabromu ana omodema wom. Eye NDC na de assassin ma abusuano. Let the listeners know. Say NDC ana de ma abusuano. Womu de ma abusuano, womu ye ne dian. Has anybody said it? Abajin bacho wati. Mr. Wa una wo ye ensem Wati de abusuano di assassin ye. Omo ka kire ya na. Enti asumi se abusuano ton bia. Na se me banasko me kokoto bia, maye bone. I am not saying say special prosecutor and also be okasa fast and say ayaton biano only to me so beka. But there is a prima facie. A people should be see what say assassino. Yadima over family no 2013. There is another established fact say na MPP any power after 2013. That is established. I know. So that is in principle established as well. 2013 na MPP now power. It is as I joined by 2017. No betobia. As at now I can say minim. Sabwaji una yensem 21 krata dia. Time potin kwa de to asasia ebia yeken wasemi. Me ameti ya minim. Maybe Emmanuel can help me and give me date ebi o de koto asase no. Or the cotton in his capacity 2018. Very well. Thank you. It is Okoton in 2018 now. Did he go and take it because he's the CEO of forestry? Or he bought it from the Owu family? Let us establish it. It is the mere fact that I'm at Legon. That's what Muton Legon and Sasia. Nebusiana Yomudiano na Etonwa. Mean to me Tobiana. Is that what you are saying? Was Sir John the legitimate owner of the land? And on no to town. Because I am the forestry commission. And on come bie. And also you establish a baby. Ebio baby Otoyan was it within the remit of Owu family ana? The establishing in near their castle. What can you say, you know? About the messenger say. Eddie Kain, you're a special prosecutor. And Kisejabeng, we all like him. I can never sit here to deny his competencies, no. But you see, say you budi chinu when one, the Conwo when they bui and swante. O budi chinu when one, ne Conwo when they bui and swante. And you be a what if you be sending Kwanantian and a Kwachan and it's well. Ipen focus on no. The American say, when was the mini Prince Eric J? I was going to cite him. Yero Biboyaka, Namesumeka, the article he wrote, he has enumerated what's the baby P. In Sasiwa, a year, Abandia, no dear me ranum. A ranum no adia dear Omufisa Omobeye. It is a media now, dear mammy, number 1. Beba Panaya, a Japadia. Watching all the media mammy, Miss Media, a day mimpe, into Maton. Media consider Fufro, and answer media Kotoka. Why not tear Chirafi Obeka say? I didn't know Koto, ne Papa, a Japadio, dear Jano. You have given it to the whole family. Somebody buys it. The person now is the target. But media Mr. Maka, you're a special prosecutor, NDM, OSP. Ya Judy. Nambom, ya see, history is the records of past events. Ubu kompa ko show a chance out there to anamo ya boa. Enu na mama fo nya gide wo mu. Na me bra yi kan no bo nsem bi so. The case is P wo ho. Into why the rush? That is a fantastic question. Me Banyana me applauding on that score. Sir John, you said it and I'm applauding you. Say there are so many issues. What harder dada? Uba betoye. And only dia was we buanya so. Onte. Government official one te. And for petition OSP. And I say uba ya nweche jato. Adia matinami du jaye BM. And I'm matinami du we anonum so guso. Enti ane de odi ya adwuma nyeye. Ya besro. Say ye be na ye fa. Ye bu nkompa ye twa ntentia no. Ni ekoye ni ma ni ye sipi. Whatever you do, the people who read meaning into it. Why so much of special interest? Now, Adiba Kwame Mwawa. About this Sabi. Yankwa ni mubia. Dambom yakwe yantiswa baby idea tibatu die wobi. Na, and that's a menya to media wa bemu. Now, assuming without admitting, Sabia Metua na Mobia, Ufisa in Susan so Chema. What's the Diana will walk round Sauba Bemu class with the Misato? Abe. Nana minimum almost say atemwo and retrospective. Now where they are saying, to understand that Sir John practicing as a lawyer, working in the UK, now the General Secretary of MPP. That was 2010 to 2014. The property so in I was the Messiah Quatoso. And in the Bian to obey as one mobra. Is it the substance of the matter in the attack? And answer we want to attack to understand, say, a beacon personality and integrity, even in his grave. And before the bomb soon tonto. That's as for. There were many more yate. Na Yahu, Ikrata Betoja. Say, one more with the animum Yako talk at us, aeroplane. Brazilian company, a woman and Naya China saying, a bonica over $3 billion. They are citing as government official one. Pointing fingers in United special prosecutor saying the ompe. And in a beer, the Okombrandi Bass on what being and Oka say, Minu and Mike before, Miss Ramo, Moga to Obama MPP, no Muba, Meko Jane, Essence Medibone, and Unia Shema Yechi. And it but young Bona Jumengu and a Memin Kabisuda say we must let institutions work. All we are pleading for is that, yes, OSP, what shall say ye? What boja? Say a branch ye found MC. Obiena no. Aka se mababa akoma to amame mabam yenuma to amame misika mecheche ma mon meje eno ne de obechei iti odiamika akoka say sadia ye behwehwem. It is good, it will save the public interest ebema nkofo anya agidie mapa ewo adwumadwumam institutions mu, but are the institutions forgetting about some and remembering others so early? In any case, I was optimistic and as I was of the view, thank you, Bayan Shishamu Kaka. Aquatira Kodum Pempensobi, as Yabacasa were Japadia one, Yadi and Satoso. So why the rush? On the second score, let me be quick to ask, say, Sir John, as a private individual, does that mean that he never did anything for himself throughout his life until he became a forestry commission boss? That one, all answers will be pointing to no. So, the question is, if we have the opportunity to investigate an issue, do we do it in a way and manner to show, say, obliviously, we want to challenge your integrity? Is that what you want to do? I don't think so, no, but the Mr. Special Prosecutor, Yabona Basu Yamanamo, Uncle Sunyaduma, on Shishem, said they all can, or see a beam, Special Prosecutor, he can go in or somebody can petition. There are other petitions, sir. Minim se miya minua kwamba fra bronye edi bia beto ho. Minim se pafa di bia koto ho, professional di bia ko. Eni ni peko pi. Ye be kai no. Tade be ya na adwuma no be kwaso no.
Banasco.
We would minua ye be kwaso kai no. Na what me ya adwuma no wa ye niye. Na wa kodi atwa nyina including the aname bra chipi ina. Aye propaganda statement and no person ina. Na wa so aman. Yama ama Ghana.
Medasi.
Ajira ne nan so ewo ne hyehyɛ mu.
Medasi. Medasi. Ma kan comments na membra na yembehwe National Cathedral enra dom kuma no den se media baba to do about woman who krata bia 25 million Ghana cedis aban Ministry of Finance issues says kanana di akwakoma the National Cathedral board no say woman fanye part of seed money in your kaka ho Na anope ni honorable Kujita Blackwa I would do Don Kuman any man raw me and Central Funshi Mudia to your but me banama baba Jima drink show. Making kind comments ni be na yanko him whoever the corrupt NPP administration elect from constituency to national and even the flag bearer, the value is the same. They claim to be competent taking the dollar from 4 cities to 8 Ghana cities and talking. They will lose massively in 2024. Alai Baba, Eddie Frimadina, and Odia no Edibai. A country that owes NAPCO teachers allowances, school feeding, money, NHIS, they don't have common textbooks, and other department is only thinking about building National Cathedral. Simon Azaleko Agbogba EP down. Your message, tail end. My main kind way is what is the use of Zoom, the Zoom line and sanitation? As we've been hearing the sanitation management, I think this sector is cheating the citizens. Right, Belgium. Message, dear pa na episode share. Ghanaians are aware that Oliver Bakavomawa is a staunch NDC member and a cadre. No wonder he chose June 4th for his demonstration to let all know that he is a revolutionary. That is one here from Teacher Kujo Tepa Anyinesusu and Odi Free and Odibai. Dr. Balmia shall finish his work with Nanado in 2024. He has no magical hands for nothing new. That is, you didn't add your name. Musa Batoa, I'll say, the country is broke, yet MPP functionaries have money to share to delegates during the regional and constituency elections. Statutory payment has not been paid. Workers are crying for their arrears. There is no money for NAPCO trainees, NSS personnel, but there is money for NPP conference and the National Cathedral. That's Musa Batoa, no Dianubai. Sami Boachi was Samanka say the NDC pressure group called Fix the Country movement has now damaged their own credibility. They are everywhere rendering apology. Ghana is very peaceful country. That is Sami Boachi Odi Samanka say. Inshaba Anelka, Shaman constituency says it's about time Ghanaians ignored the NDC and John Mahama and focused on the elephant family because the NPP always promise and deliver. Inshaba Anelka, no dear no buy. But see, does it mean that the NDC is now fighting the Christian community in Ghana? Simple, because the president has contributed to the national Cathedral project, or on behalf of the nation, since Chief Imam has even seen the need to contribute to such a project, they need to be very careful about their political interest. That's one here. And you didn't send your name. And where is sending us the message from? Need 100 points now. Ghana Montie so and was so good. Let's move on. Yanko enim National Cathedral. I started from you.
Just 1 minute on something. Menu Banasco. Ebisa some question. And I can say, obviously, a TF4 answer that question. Very good. On see, Anebia NDC ma old family 118 acres of land. No, Omudi dear me boy, and this are okay. Banasco. Ha. And I can't say. Now, Cardian 193. 193. A shall say free. Ora Kufuor Bresu. That is MPP government. Take note of that. But NDC by negotiations. Ediba from 193 to 118. Niami, maybe say often count say. On same bisa ATF say. Identity and the party MPP. Must from 118 to 361. A honso. You should add that question. Is it because say Omu area eche? That's the reason why I'm moving from 118 to 316. No, that's my question to you.
That's Yanko him. So, Banasco Minshas here now. Yanshe, National Cathedral and Komoya, a prejan who say, no, don't command some of the 25 million Ghana cedis from the Ministry of Finance. Meet you.
Okay. Abadi?
Yeah.
That's a pa. I'm saying, what's the Mukane Yati? I come with you. And this is for the pa. I need you home. Major Abraham said, T4 Pinano. I want some for no anu ye. Do chain there or no better now, Beckham. Into major was no, the listeners are wide awake. You see, you understand. Sometimes we leave you to expose yourself and then they keep mute. But on the national cathedral, Eddie Kain, maybe they an American same way. I'm turning the mix. Ya umukremoni and the mere Christian. Enti adebia fa Islam ho Muhammad din bebem. Ojenu kwankwa Muhammad ni akasole Allah alaihi wasallam no. Ta so na bigidi se ye ka efa yewra Yesu Kristo ho a ni akase ono ne agye nkwatro do. Enti saa de mienu nyina no ya de Ghana fo ye nyina no ye mfa yesom mienu entoto fom. Na yensi asorifie enhye Awurade de anum nyam so enya de bone. Enda mi ti argument ni bi na me ra ho pa. So for pa na asem ne say na nado na so ne da yes obesi aso dan a adenti na opese ni pe bi bo ano no amfa ne kutukum sika nyina nsie. Eti ya na me say oh unfortunate. Let us not do politics to this extent. Say and then enam say your political differences obi betumi aka asem bi etisa. One, on the issue of natural cathedral no me ne nyina agitum say eye fe ehye Awurade anum nyam no man bia enya nhira bro so no eya ne commitment to say ye adibisa no eno eboa pa na national cathedral ni sie enya ade a obi beka se enei ena nanado dankwa kufu ado akasi ne bo say me besi national cathedral. But the argument of the NDC today and as any other persons ni say ewiase ayeden nti eni se national cathedral no kra yesi. You remember say 6th March the year 2017 Air Fence Independent Day celebration and they launch a national cathedral project. You no conference center. Fortunately, I was there. What am I saying? Enti enya de foforo. And ebiem baby oma ya kwakodru no. Aman krankra enipa including the national chief imam. Kebeka so no na Muslim ni fo nyina peni no. Aye commitment of 50,000 Ghana cedis. Esame de bois essence ye pe coexistence and then religious tolerance. Or the bois Emma Ekwasosa. Ebium Yesha anamuntu omwetu nyina from the beginning of Musha say ye mame former chief justice da no anamuntu omwetu ani de omaye nyina na eyade a national cathedral no isie no eyade a omudisi na ekoso. What is the commitment of the country itself? And based on the blessings ye nyina ye focus say nsabeka. If the government in its wisdom if you say at a point let the country as a whole commit to it. Said the beya as soon as Anthony Nishira. Maybe I say America and that I won't no. In God we trust. That is one key thing. And the Enyadia Aya the Fufrobia. And is it the first time government is supporting certain projects? Yes, see, I don't want to do those comparisons. Because the Christian fraternity in the country, no, I said the NDC is taking us for granted. And as some person say, I dear for Christian will be the airborne. Yet your man and Kwafobe suggestions okay. If we support our Muslim brothers to pilgrimage, why not also support Christians who want to go to Israel to pray? But what I say, but I don't want Israel some argument. No, it's media about the mesra. They say Abano making commitment to a national cathedral is a good call. If somebody is making the argument, say at the time of doing it, and now Omukadia, well, I will support that argument at any day. And me, just as my good friend Kabila did, going through where it was being done and all that, I felt that, yes, we could have relocated to another place. But the cathedral in its essence is a very good thing for the nation. And not only a cathedral, there are so many other things that will be done there. The tourist sites that will be created. The investment that it will bring to the nation. St. George's the Basilica. How many tourists? Yes, over 1.9 billion human beings go there every year. And it gives the country a woman over $60-something billion. So it can be replicated here. Intimacy. First idea when no be could make comments be. And in my particular case, Muslim mother, Christian father. And the I am a cana. Now the argument is that we support Muslims. Why can't we support Christians? Ghana a secular state. Yaje the Christianity nutum. Yaje Islam tum. Yaje traditionalist nutum. Yenina ye nipa bako. It is support be for the Christendom swa.
mesre eni die mu ma yen ko keka no nsem bi said the beya otsina making a comment that may not sound well no na akofa religious form of intolerance biaba mesre mi nanum NDC for it is good my junior brother Okujeto has raised the argument. It is fantastic, but then the angle that it is being pushed no na yentre ye na ankoma comments ankofo be make ankoye de bema osom empapa mu anase nchichemu beba
Midase Miss Midase Banasco of NPP now attaining kan mamima Emmanuel Alote of NDC mintie no National Cathedral near minority for the atuje
yo Midase I say about Midase na National Cathedral on say sansensem no o kan na sana Banasco e kan na bebre if you say NDC for the time Christians I mean me I'm a stand Christian. I belong to a Lighthouse Church under the Anakazu Assembly and the Bishop Dr. Intefo. So, yes, and overall a Bishop Dakiwon Mills. So I believe in the tenets of the Christian, faith. But me can't Bible ni but me who may be actually say there shall be a timer. Someone to become president of Ghana. I friend Akufo-Addo. I'll be see cathedral. I'm a nyame. It's not there. Written anywhere. That's number one. Number two, on kasa kan ye say, nyame born nas to be the president. That is a pledge. Oh yeah, man, nyame. It's a vow between Onu and nyame. Say, me a president. Messi kati de amount. It's a private thing. Asa. Oh, offer. It's a private thing. Oh, the nyame aye apam say, boami. Na me the president. Ghana for enkan say, you be president too. In the name of Akufo-Addo. We know say we will vote, but you want to win the election. And now only nyame eya apam say boam na me the president. Media Messi Katida. So that's your commitment to God. Fulfill your commitment. Asa, why do you burden the state? And after so the same president can say when a private thing be until he will charge Christians and every person to contribute private. Wankasa Banasco, Wanka. That we will not use state funds. Wankasa. Okay, when it's okay when you say we will not use state funds a private thing. Mena machine nyame bonti me this one. Then you do a U-turn. Now your tax a year. Then of where brenu. When you 25 million say yen fancy cathedral. Abra Bible no yen show be say in the some years to come no. Akufo-Addo be president Odia or see cathedral nyame. Me who be which chapter, which verse? Old Testament, New Testament, anyhow. Oh, Banasco, I beg you. Why you have personal commitment to God? Go and fulfill it. And I can say, you will not commit state funds. I don't think and why you tell now? You seek down 25 million. Oh, ye Ediasi Cathedral. At the same time, at the same time, no, LEAP is in arrears. National insurance is in arrears. School feeding. Demonstration. Teacher training allowance. Modi campaign. It's in 7 months arrears. Nursing, the same thing. BBSA. Look at the gamut of issues that everything is basa. Yeah, can say at least take some of the taxes on the fuel. Still, you can't do it. Look at the inflation today. Then you take our few limited resources, tax no, only fulfill your own commitment to God. Tell my Ushebono, Ghana for count. I don't remember me being part of that commitment. Say, Akufo-Addo the president. Me born that we see a friend is saying cathedral. So I don't remember saying say me tax every month. And I say me tell me 11 on fancy cathedral. I never did that with him. Oh, number two, offer the KBA by you know must come from the budget. The BIA budget every year. Your friend, the finance and economic planning what document I already call the policy. Now, where in the budget, allocation, the 25 million will be used to build cathedral. But that's going to tell me. Where in the budget? Show me which appendix, which paragraph. Wow. Which appendix, which paragraph? Say, actually say, government is allocating 25 million from our limited resources. Your tax to build cathedral. Where is it? It's even illegal. As far as the Public Financial Management Act is concerned, it is illegal. It is everything you justify. Oh, see, you believe. I mean, you've gone through the two faith, Muslim and Christian. Until what can Quran, what can Bible, and you justify this criminal act. It's never written anywhere. Say Ghanaians in Parliament should approve. Say 25 million will be used. Wow. The reason why Ora Ablakwa Ekan wants them to say, but it's about Parliament, and they are the reps of the people. 30 million Ghanaians cannot go to Parliament. Instead, 275, you know. As the rep, you know, on who document be any paragraph, any appendix say, yeah, say, yeah, Tassikano, it is cathedral. If he comes out from the Minister of Finance, say, Tassikano is going out to be cathedral. He has every right to ask the questions. Because it frowns on our financial management act. It's unlawful. Question. I expect you as a young man. Say now can Virginia. What it means, you're also a youth, young man, to ask your party. Say, I didn't think Ghana for every at this moment. You know, who is 25 million at the cathedral. If you share the location, time we start, you know, there were buildings. Yes, here it was housing our judges, passport office, and so on. You wasted our resources. SN relocated your friend said all the judges. Temusi but relocating will cost us additional money as a state. Wow, just wasted everything. Your tax are endorsed and also over. And Manasco, you sit here and support it. Oh, if you belong to a party, and you just say, Bibia, you support it. Bibia, you just, Bibia, now ufaso. Yeah, every party is here. You must think about the future of this country. Tell me, there's no way say you should justify this thing because any budget, any ho, it's not written anywhere. Oh, and before, according to the same report, I come on radio. If you go there, I pass there almost every morning. And they started working every day. They have spent a lot. So there's even corruption in building the house of God. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Even in building the house of God, there's corruption. How much came from private donation? How much in social? Oh, the car buy any moment be that all these are going on. So I expect the young ones, the youth say, if you cannot pay NAPCO, you can't pay national health insurance, you can't pay LEAP, you can't pay school feeding. The secondary school say, you can't pay supplies, whatever. You can't pay all these monies. Why do you commit such amount? Now, don't we have Christian? I mean, we have Lighthouse, we have Pentecost. Sorry. Look at a friend is saying, and if you say, look at the ultramodern church, Amosi, who come and say, Lighthouse, you see it, you see it, oh, Mampon, all over. The Catholics, the Presbyterians, the Methodists, obviously. So, do we need a cathedral to go and pray? Archwater Forest cry, you call a bompire, me wana. Already we have every corner be every school, government school, church on Sundays. So why do you waste our resources at this moment? To build a cathedral. And I also can say, it's a personal commitment. If it's your personal commitment, why are you putting the burden on us? Say, me your taxa, me try me levy. Now they say, sorry. What is the sense in it, Banasco? These are the questions. Oh, so much is wrong with everything. Okay. So much is wrong with everything. From there's no law. My who said there no budget, no paragraph, no appendix. Say 25 million will be used for a cathedral. Nothing. So the money must go back. First, entire school feeding, national health insurance, teachers allowance, nursing training allowance. The money should go back and pay all those things. So finance can be free.
Medasi. Your point is main kind. Me comments ni be. Na me nji closing remarks. Na sorry so. Meji mo course kakran na sorry so. One here says poultry farms are collapsing in this country due to shortage of maize and soya beans. And Agric Minister Akoto Efie see nothing wrong with it, but contesting the flag bearer race very soon. they will import eggs from Togo. That's Shaibu from Kaswa. Leviticus Power says the NPP then in opposition never blamed NDC John Mahama for that 3rd June 2015 disaster. But now, the NDC is blaming NPP President Nana Akufo-Addo for the pandemic like COVID-19. Leviticus Power is not here, nobody. You see, although I am not a fan of this National Cathedral thing, also for a Blackwash should not also bamboozle people with unrelated Bible quotes. In Matthew 26:11, when people like Okujeto started complaining about why a woman poured expensive oil on Jesus' feet, and Jesus said, the poor will always be with her, will be with you here. The fact that people are poor does not mean that things should not be undertaken. The fact that you are building your profile in NDC does not mean saying anything about everything. PC Kwansa, Eddie Free UK, NOD by Banasco. Did I hear Kujuto Blackwa talking about priority programs when Doomsaw was killing our businesses under Mahama? Didn't he hear bus branding going on? Was that bus branding a priority for Ghanaians? Yet we got to Kujeto and his cohorts defending that wasteful act. Nana Ponsa Bediako, NOD by Kinayonde from Amasaman. You see, it's very shocking to hear the utterances of government functionaries on issues bothering our nation and the utmost impunity with which they bend our laws to perpetrate their fraud and corruption on our national resources. That's Kinayonde NOD Edbai. Crazy, but I think those demonstrators are sick in their minds, and I don't know what the security agencies did on the. Nana Buaji, Tantiachim, Nana, Maukasa no Hunti, why? Okay, all right. Closing comments.
Awadi, nya edi twa to say, I'm say, o my mo said ya mekaye no. Say there is a way that cement right onto a man by the end thereof. Jenu anom mbebu no a omakom from fix the country. Ene anamuntu a omopeso mutu. It say Ghana amambra kunini 1992 constitution. E ma ho kwan se obia betumi aye na so befa kwan tin na waye dia ode ade a enu na koma so ade adi. Nambom se ye beka ne se ye mbebu nu nti oja hyewe ye mu ne betu anamon ana ye beye no mebi a ensem fata no so. Esa na enwie peyo. Na endra mitie voice bi mesre ya ma enipa a omo say aban entoto na maye na leadership entumi eno maye no wo mo asoso mo leadership crisis eni nti nende omo chro letter na obi abegina abonte Captain Smart se menka ho yemi na mesan ye so san ye nchini na we so aba say wo bo na wo ka ho that is to tell them say leadership is here ade baako etoso mienu ye nyina ye wo ho akwanya say ye befa ekwan paso na ye de yemo a eha na tudwa Mbom kwanya wo fa so bia so no wahwe ne yi because abwaje said the dynamic aye no afutu a mma me de ma me de ko secondary school mana me de nam say osofu hwe bia wo fie na hu awu koi e bia opese wo bo bra ende mbebu no pii no yetena social media ya dwen ne say yeto ayampia no ene na eme ye fans ene nkankan wo mo create channels a wo ko hwe ni we ya na odi channel ebi de ade a ye de beto wa emboa omanye so mbia hia anomotu bi ebetu bia no eso nti wadwe ne se me kama na hye oman na sei ano no oman na bo a kai hu se ochina ye obe bia no ye de kai o na masre ye wura eye abankins for somani babin sadia otumi atake eye ajaje for no enye fe oye panyi ye revenge ye bu no Ghana abakwasemu from 1992 to the year 2020. Why you be papa? Nembom, and some be paying no no. Ayan washen ye kakra. Because to say the court verdict, no, a travesty of justice as the Speaker of Parliament taking such a bold decision, talk this
ɛyɛ a ɛnsɛm fata yɛbɛsrɛ no ɔnyɛ food soldier.
All right, chocolate drink. This way. This way. Yenesi for me.
Ɔnyɛ an ordinary person. And as ɔnyɛ NDC food soldier. And ɔnyɛ social media commentator. Ɔyɛ the speaker of Ghana's parliament. Yɛbɛsrɛ no na no kasa no. Ɛyɛ no ahwɛ ne yie kakra. Because ubu ɛyɛ Supreme Court and as atemmu adwuma no nimtia. Obese say me ka bibia wo frɛ me ba privileges committee and you think I'll give you that respect. And I just say be obetwa me ti wo me fi. What you say? Yɛntwe ne yie. Na ɔyɛ gu akonwa no fi. Unjai sakasa na yɛ ɔka no.
Medasi Banasco.
Boss, you may disagree with them.
Yeah.
But your commentary must be civil and serene.
Medasi.
Very important.
Medasi. That's Banasco Ampon San. Sorry, Ampon Ansan of NPP. Montie Emmanuel Alote, NDC. Yes, sir.
MCBB, Manasco edify consent the speaker. You are wrong. The judges are not sacrosanct. Say, my judgment, you can't say anything about it. No, you're wrong. No. Offer judgment, no, to Basi. Offer judgment, no, to Basi. That is what you are portraying. Offer judgment, no. And no money view. He has the right to criticize the judgment. Sonia, who can? No. He only criticized the judgment at APA because nuclear is a movie. It was the case of Abu Dhabi. Yes, and the judgment affected him. So he has every right to comment on the judgment. Our judges are not sacrosanct and say, "Omukasa, nasa." Debbie, so I beg you. Now, Niame, he did not comment on anyhow. No, can I say no? May affect justice, and it's true. Who can Krata or Kandapa Eka? It's in line the same thing. No, on his way. Kandapa Odomo Party, Minister of National Security, Wanka about it. Nema Ekosu in a system for judiciary. Wanka. So stop what you are saying. Please. Speaker who has every right. Now on you be or cannot drink consent the judgment. And I agree with him 100%. The judgment to anchor in your favor, you have the right to talk about it. Very simple. Now, yes, sorry, so no. Mr. Kwisawaji. Ma enko the friend say me ame nua banana school in the party for MBB say. Na omo buye man no. Ye bre. Into mu hia. Omo kan wansem. De bi omo hia just plan to attack Mahama no. Eno emboayen. Seriously. Bibia say de bi omo hia anything bi omo plan no how to attack Mahama say. Ombebio. Emboaye. Bibia say ene unam kroma obi kasa. Kase bebre bodam. I'm telling you. Fuel price, transport, eduani, bibia, say rent, intimate bibia. So spend the time. Say, what are we going to do to bring the burden down? Say, Ghana for will be okay. And no 10 cities, sir. You can't even buy wache with fish and meat to enjoy. I'm telling you. Cost of living, go on air cost.
Okay.
So they should think about Niama, it can help us. Asa. Oh. Now, sorry. I'm sorry. Because you can't come and tell us, say, Obi, Ushia, Obi, not anywhere near 4.2. As a regional. Oh, see, it's incompetent. And I'm above 8 Ghana cities. So what are you? Super incompetent. Oh, Ghana for too much. Moon to me, my country now. Moon, sorry. Asa, I'm breaking the 8. Baby, I'm Mahama. Oh, we will break the 8. Mufin said Ghana for Sebi. Yeah, really
okay, Emmanuel Adote Alote, a member of the NDC communication team, and Ote Banasco Amponansa, also a member of the NPP communication team. Painfully, and boy, Michelle Bosse me fakos, but dear Brian, you to me fakos, so I have to make way for the next program. to be, I mean, you have to treat you guys nice. So I'm going to read some of the messages now. Sorry, Ako. Unfortunately, we can't take calls. So this one says, if NPP will lose massively, not to NDC. NDC can be the solution to Ghana's problem as a nation. LPG may be better than the NDC party. That's all. Richard from UK. And shout to my guys in the UK, Van Dyke, Valentine, do, and all the guys at Hot Digital Online Radio or London, UK. They always got our back. I mean, Shamo. My people will never learn that. Bugri Nabu to Otiko. And now this parrot, that's Sam from UK. I don't know, so anyway, Edibai. Mama's desperation to come to power again, in my opinion, is to backdate his salary 8 years back to cover all the years that he has been out of power. That's Kwesi from UK. And also they are about Emmanuel Kwekuyamwa says, Kwesi, please tell the NDC and their desperate former president that Ghanaians are not gullible to follow their propaganda and lies. So they should stop misinforming Ghanaians, because there is no way we will vote for him and his desperate party. That's Emmanuel. And Al Hassan Sisi, Zenu Central, says, Nana Akufo-Addo's promised to the Almighty God, I think was personal. Why are they now using public funds on the project? This government, led by the Nanado, the most wasteful ever. NAPCO workers have not been paid for the past 7 months, but the government has released money to build the cathedral. Will the cathedral solve our problems for us? We're hungry, Tom. Well, I'm sure we need to pray. We're going to pray. The cathedral. Don't you guys want prayers? I know with us here in Ghana, everything is prayers. Bibia, so we're building a place that we can do some more